Vol.1. 1, 2. Check me out right here, yo. Need to turn the track up a little bit for me. All up in my ears. The mic is loud, but the music ain't loud. Yeah. Yeah. Now the mic is low now. Turn the mic up a little bit. My this shit's all the way up. Yeah. The music is loud. It's not loud. That's what I'm talking about. I just want to wild out.
Check. Started off with a quick 8. Give me 8.
Yeah. She in my DM, trying to be my BM. She be sleeping, I be creeping. What am I hearing? Yeah. She in my DM, trying to be my BM.
You're hearing.
She be sleeping, I be creeping.
This.
Did you turn them off? Are we off?
All right, now we're good.
Fuck that 8, dude. We didn't need that. They didn't want to hear that anyway.
Now we're good to go.
That was blowing my mind, dude.
All right, let me turn this off. And here we are. As you notice, I'm not in the right seat.
Yeah, me neither.
As it turns out, I called Payday, and he's at the roller rink tonight.
Yeah.
He said he refuses to come in when it's not his day to work.
Wow.
He's holding out for minimum wage.
Okay.
Does
Big Cuz pay a minimum wage?
Apparently, Big Cuz pays him $12 an hour.
That's incredible, man.
And they're getting like about 3 hours a week over there. So I'm going to have to step up to $36.
Wow.
Or else I'm going to lose him probably for good. Also,
damn, Payday.
I lost my vape, so let me.
You guys figure that out. Yeah. Do they make open-toe skates at the rolling rink?
I saw the pair that he has. He customized them. What he did was he took a Jordan 1 and then put like the roller skate trucks on the bottom.
Okay.
Then cut out the toe.
Right.
And cut out the heel. So all he's really got is like the
swish.
The swish and the laces. So he's got his heel out and his toe out because it's a roller rink thing.
Payday strikes me as the kind of guy that might have a dry heel. You know what I mean?
He might.
Payday, tap in. Let me know if you got a dry heel.
Talk to us about your heels. So this is not the regular gig. This is the gig presents GBMC Vol.1.
Wow, dude.
Now, here's the thing about GBMC is that I'm not sure that we should even reveal what that stands for.
I don't think we should.
And just let them create whatever it is they want to create.
Could be anything.
GBMC, Great Britain's most casual.
I like it. How about Gay Boys Motorcycle?
I was going to say Good Boys Monkeying Clearly.
Okay, that's not bad.
Good
dude.
Boy Monkey Cleaners? Yeah, we'll clean your monkey for you.
Right, dude. Great Big Moose Cock.
There
right.
it is. Welcome to Great Big Moose Cock Volume 1.
It's your boys.
Here we are.
Tapped in.
It's me, the original Alleyway Admiral, across from MC Biscuit.
MC Biscuit.
You know, if you don't know our real names and you happen to be some rando watching, you don't know that guy across from me or me, great. Then I'm still the Alleyway Admiral.
Yeah, and I'm Biscuit.
That's it. Gig Broadcast MCS. I don't know what MCS would be, though.
MCs.
Gig Broadcast MCs. Okay, I see you, Just.
Okay.
I see you with it.
Clapped in.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the greatest. That's the greatest project manager in all of Queens in the live, bro.
That's what it really is, man. I'm happy to have you aboard.
Yeah, I just had to. I had a talk with them today about them sending me to Jacksonville or maybe the ATL for some work.
That sounds beautiful.
I think so. Here's the thing: if I can make now the rates outside of New York, New Jersey, and Philly, like the rates drop dramatically, obviously.
Right.
And wherever he would be sending me would be, prevailing wage with the union guys get.
Yeah.
The problem is when you get down below the Mason-Dixon, we're looking at maybe a 40% wage decrease.
Yeah. Cigarettes are 40 cents.
But if I get set down, I could be sent anywhere as long as if I'm getting my travel paid and my hotel paid, and as long as I'm making like $750 a week,
right,
it's still a win because I got to hang out in a new city and earn $750 that
life
week.
Experience that you couldn't otherwise get.
Exactly. And just know that I cost way more than $750 a week.
A lot more.
Yeah.
But for the life experience, we're weighing out these options.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my live cracking over here on IG just so they know that we're here.
They should know that we're here.
And we're going. All right. So we got a few things to talk about. We're also got a few things to just kind of freestyle about because that's what we do best at GBMC.
What we do is freestyle.
You know what I mean? Whether I don't freestyle songs I don't freestyle rap anymore because we've seen how terribly that turns out. Well, I gave it a shot.
We also know that it reveals your deep, darkest Lil Nas X in you. You know
Listen,
what I mean?
Here's the thing. I got Reef the Lost Cause coming on this week or next week.
Incredible.
And he was the judge at that particular freestyle competition where I got a little bit too homoerotic.
Yeah. Did he ever make a comment on that to you at all?
I think he probably just laughed at me in my face and was like,
yeah. So sorry.
He was on a podcast like the next day or two and decided to discuss it on the podcast.
Oh, okay, so he's well aware.
But, he was very generous in leaving my name out of that podcast so nobody knows that I'm the gay rapper.
That's good, man.
Which is, it's 2021. If I'm the gay rapper, it is what it is.
If you're the gay rapper, you'll probably be a multimillionaire.
I'd probably be popping, yeah. Maybe I should look into it.
I think that might be why they did that whole – I think that's why maybe the baby – you pay attention to that at all? What's going on
with the baby?
So the baby was on I'm not exactly sure, Lollapalooza. See, I'm not very good news-wise, right? But this is like a big festival where there's all this stuff, and the baby came out, and he said something like, yeah, we ain't sucking dick over here. He said, put your phone up, put your cell phone light in the air, which is the equivalent to the new lighter in the air type thing, right? But he's like, put your cell phone in the air, and if you don't suck dick, if your pussy smell like water, if you do all this stuff, right? But then he got all his endorsements pulled. He got pulled from the fucking thing. He got and then they replaced him with Young Thug, like almost as like a fuck you, right?
Right.
And then he went after Lil Nas X, and then like T.I. jumped on and was kind of doing some homophobic shit, and then Boozy, your boy, jumped on and was doing some, a little bit homophobic shit.
Why is Boozy my boy?
I thought he was your boy. I thought you just
No,
fuck with
Gates.
Boozy Badass.
That's
you don't
Gates.
fuck with Boozy Badass?
I'm not mad at Boozy. But I don't really know any Boozy songs.
I don't really either, but at him as a human,
as a character, I like him.
Yeah, not even
sure.
as a human being, as a character.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so he jumped on it. He kind of jumped out of a whole window with it and all this stuff. But
I can see that.
The thing is that so like controversy sells and all that stuff. My initial reaction to it was what it always is, which is let the people. Like we're making artists into icons, you know what I mean, or idols and all this stuff, and but then you got to step back a little bit and be like, yeah, but that's the way it is now. It is like that now. So you do have a voice, and you are being heard, and people are going to be hurt by that or pissed off by that, whether they're gay or not gay. People just might be pissed off by that, right? My whole train of thought is just being like, yeah, but if the baby was being like pro, are you familiar with the baby's music at all?
Which I don't know.
I couldn't tell you a song that he does.
Is the baby Bop the North Carolina baby?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah. He definitely is. So he's like kind of ignorant, kind of cool, kind of loud, kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
He's dope. I fuck with him.
I fuck with him too.
Yeah.
I think his music is dope.
And I think he could really write too. I think he's a decent writer as far as the craft goes.
I like his music.
Yeah.
I think it's one of like the few new school rappers that I'll listen to and not have a problem with, not judge it, not anything. I also think, to his credit, Lil Nas X also makes really good music. I can't watch his videos in any good confidence, but I think the music itself is not bad. It's like it's music.
We'll agree to disagree there.
That's fine.
I think I'll give you this. I think as pop music, it fits where it's supposed to. It's not necessarily for me.
But I do think there's a part of it where it's like if I was just as a man, I'm not going to say if I was a black man, but it seems to seem like it is focused that way a little bit, where it's almost like the demasculation of the black man in society.
Right.
That I almost understand where someone like the baby's coming from, where he almost feels attacked by maybe a possible, in his head, a homosexual agenda against hip hop, where he thinks that these people are maybe being pushed to the top, like these young thugs and these Lil Nas X's and these very effeminate, not that there's anything wrong with that, men, right, where maybe like the masculine hip-hop is kind of like falling by the wayside. Then I heard somebody's take saying, what about, and it's true too, what about like, misogynistic rap lyrics, and what about drug dealing rap lyrics, and what about all these other things, and all these other things that people have said, but there was people speaking out about that. You did have your KRS Ones. And you did have your, and people did speak out against that and be like, this isn't what we should be celebrating,
Right.
But
here's the thing, because the baby is not, I mean, he's at the top of the game. So for him to feel like he's, I would venture to even say that as far as success and popularity goes right now, that the baby is ranked probably higher than Lil Nas X.
I don't think so.
Lil Nas X gets he's like ranked with his stain and his clout because he makes these moves, like makes a country song or, lap dances on the devil and shit like that. So he's got the character kind of thing where like he's got eyes on him for what he's doing. But I think musically, the baby is putting out way more hits than Lil Nas X.
I don't know if that's true. First of all,
Lil Nas X has 2 songs that I know.
But they were both huge songs. We just said North Carolina Bop Baby. You know what I mean? And that was where we came to the conclusion of the baby.
But that's because there's 6 babies.
Dude, Old Town Road was one of the biggest songs in the country for like fucking 3 months. My daughter loves that song. My daughter don't know any fucking the baby song.
Yeah, the song's huge. I agree that the song is huge, but I also think that it's huge on a pop level.
Yeah, but pop is popular music. I'm not saying, and where we're at in hip-hop now is definitely more towards that anyway. Hip-hop has become so mainstream over the last 20 years that it is pop music. And if it's not pop music, it's Griselda, and it's listened to by 30-somethings, and they're, you know what I mean? It's a different kind of thing. So I don't know. But I started like going back and forth with it because I was like, I almost get where he's coming from. Originally, I was kind of like, this dude's out of pocket. He's like, if you ain't got AIDS, he really jumped out a whole window. And then a whole bunch of other people jumped out a whole window with him, defending him, which made it all look kind of like contrived and weird. Like Lil Boozy said, he has a quote that was like, you're up there lap dancing on men trying to make all my straight boys turn gay. And I was just like, bro, come on, man. That's not how I don't think that's how it works. I do understand that, you know, a young developing maybe 13-year-old boy seeing some effeminate black man drop his ass on some other masculine black man, or the devil for that matter, or any colored man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it might be a thing where you see that and be like, oh, you know, it might confuse somebody, a young kid or whatever, you know what I mean? Especially if he's all effeminate, wearing lip gloss, all the shit, you know what I mean? It is a confusing thing.
See, I don't think that regardless of what I saw, I think at 13, I knew that my dick got hard for the babes.
Yeah, but at 13, it was the
and
babes.
And I knew that I wanted the babes. Like
you had the babes, though. Now there's so much more of the other side of things. When we were growing up, there wasn't as much of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm a true believer that you don't turn gay, right?
I don't know, man.
Because to me, in my head, and this is just me, right? But in my head, no straight dude would just decide, like, you know what? I think I want to taste dick today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's whatever. It is what it is. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're gay.
Right.
Right? But I just can't see it being anything other than you being born that way, because to a straight man's mind, it seems so foreign to want to cuddle with another fucking dude.
But to your straight man's mind, but what about someone who's maybe bisexual? You know
well,
what
then
I mean?
they're bisexual.
Right. But it's not set in their head. They like pussy.
I mean, they're just being greedy at that point.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're trying to get in where they fit in, and they're fitting in a lot more places.
Yeah. And that's fine. Look, if you want to do that, go ahead and do it. But also, like, if you're bisexual, you're gay.
Yeah.
You're gay part of the time.
Yeah. You're a part-time gay. If Barack Obama's the first black president, you're at least gay.
You're a PTG.
Yeah, PTG.
Yeah. You're definitely a PTG, and that's fine. We're not against PTGs here.
PTGs, we celebrate them.
We love everybody.
Anything you want to do with your dick or butthole, do.
But I do think so. Look, I think that masculinity, and we had this argument when old Open Toes was here.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Open Toe Roller Skate was here one night. That masculinity, I think, for whatever reason it is, has been being attacked somewhat, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me because I'm confident with mine, but I do see, in the public eye, there's like some leaning towards, if you are a masculine man, like full, confident, like rough and tumble masculine dude, there's a portion of the population that's kind of looking at you like you're wrong.
Yeah.
When in reality, you're just kind of responding to your genetics and your biology.
Right.
So when, especially for a guy who ask is BGE for life.
BGE for life is that's another 3 letters we're not going to discuss, but it's relative to what we're talking about right now.
Okay. So I think especially for a guy like the Baby or T.I. or Boosie, who are in the public eye, right?
Right.
Maybe they feel they get some of that attack from whoever it's coming from, where they feel like they're being told they're wrong for just responding to who they are. Like, we want to celebrate people for who they are nowadays, right? And that's cool. You know what I mean? Whoever you are, be who you are. It doesn't affect me at all.
Exactly.
I may celebrate, I may not. It depends on what the situation is. But if we're celebrating people on this side and saying you're great for being yourself, then we got to celebrate people on the other side and say you're great for being true to yourself, even if that true to yourself doesn't match up with this true to yourself.
Right.
So now if you're PTG, right, and we're saying like, oh, you're phenomenal. We're glad that you can like be who you are.
Yeah.
Then we want to be accepted for who we are. I want to be accepted for being a rough and tumble contractor, ex-convict who likes riding a BMX bike and getting all scarred up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that is a big part of it, because people don't seem to have a problem with totally shitting on the other side of the argument, because the other side of the argument isn't to them a progressive, proactive argument. It's not like it's just and it just seems so contrived and so backwards. And I find myself on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever, like getting into arguments with people where I end up just looking like a cis white straight male, right? I just look like this dude who they want to villainize and victimize. I am, but I'm not, and I never want to come out of a place of ignorance or lack of understanding or anything like that. But I'd be silly to think that when Dave Chappelle was on Oprah or whatever, he was on the Inside the Actor Studio, and he was talking about how they wanted to get him in the dress and Robin Hood, and he was like, that wasn't in the script. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And then you hear people like Lauryn Hill and all these other people talking about how they try to like really demasculate the black male. And you look at the history of this country, it almost makes sense that they would do something like that. So I don't believe or disbelieve anything 100%. I'm just gonna look at it and be like, what is this? What's in front of me?
Right.
And what's in front of me could be, if I'm like, back to what I was saying before about, I think that Lil Nas X in a pop culture is way higher than a DaBaby is to a hip-hop culture. In my head, a global perspective, I think that more people know who Lil Nas X is than DaBaby.
But also, maybe DaBaby should just understand his place too.
Yeah,
like,
I do.
You're not a pop star. Like, you're a grimy street hip hop dude. The fact that you made it this far,
incredible,
is great and phenomenal, and you should be celebrated for making it where you made. Because now you can support your family, your homeboys, and their family.
Right.
I'm sure he's got 100 people that are under him, whether it's like managers or tour guys or his buddies who roll his joints.
Yeah.
So now you're supporting this whole community. You should be happy for it. I'm sure he is. I always see DaBaby smiling and shit. When
What's coming out, what I'm getting out of it is that he seems jealous or pissed off or like not happy with maybe that he's getting so much of this praise. Maybe it's just the praise. Maybe it's not the fame. Maybe it's not anything like that. Maybe it's just the fact that he's being celebrated for being the kind of person he is. And then like what we're saying is, and then DaBaby's getting, villainized for being who he is,
Yeah.
And I think that maybe that might make you lash out and say shit like, there ain't no fucking, F words with AIDS here, right? You know what I mean? Put your phone up if there's no, which is drawing because you're at a festival. You're at a festival with, hundreds of thousands of people, I assume. I don't know. I saw the pictures. It looked like incredible amount of people.
Huge.
Which is awesome for anyone who gets to rock on a stage in front of that many people, and they should feel blessed. But to use that platform to do that just seems a little bit like, come on, man.
It's a little whack.
Just be blessed that you're there and just have a good time doing it. Plus, I've seen videos of a baby wearing a fucking diaper on stage. You know what I mean? So
it's almost a little self-emasculating by stepping out of your pocket to just hate on somebody else. Because I think like the most masculine of behaviors is that you stand firm on your own square and be the sun and let the world spin around you and just shine on whatever passes you. There's no real benefit to step outside of myself to hate or to bitch about something. I mean, you work with me on a pretty regular basis. We get into some shit that really sucks, and we swallow it with a smile and just keep laughing and working it and doing it because we stand on our square. We're not out here like, looking at the next crew like, oh, these fucking guys, because they're whatever the different thing is than us, are getting paid more and they're getting the nice jobs and I'm dealing with what's in front of me. So you're like so not only are you out of pocket, ask men don't talk shit. That's what we're saying here is that like not only are you a little bit out of pocket for what you're addressing, but you're out of pocket for the fact that you're addressing it at all.
Right.
Like, just go get your paycheck.
Handle your own.
You're on your job right now, cuz.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure that was a sweet fucking paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, he's probably making, who knows,
Buku.
50, 100 grand for that fucking show.
Yeah.
And decided to do that. It's just, I didn't even know it happened.
Yeah.
But it seems a little bit silly.
Yeah, it is, and I agree with you. But I also the only reason I even brought it up is because as I was driving here, I started to think a little bit on the other side of it, and just seeing maybe where he was coming from, and then also thinking about how there's definitely a demasculation of men.
In general, yeah,
in
for sure.
society, you know what I mean?
Which is why the whole like red pill MGTOW movement has swept up the weaker of men, I think, right?
Yeah.
The weaker men who feel like they're being attacked. Because I don't feel like I'm being attacked.
Right.
Ever.
No, me personally, I don't feel like I'm being attacked either. But I do see it out in front of me where it's just like, oh, yeah, it does seem like there's way more, you know what I mean? Like, I know I was talking to a guy that was on Tinder or something like that, and he said he changed his shit to buy.
You guys matched?
No. A friend of mine was on Tinder.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he was saying that he changed his shit to buy to get more matches because women are coveting the openness of a guy who says that he's bi, right? Because it's a new school type of way to look at it, if not being closed-minded. But I do think that this ends up coming full circle and back to, because innately a woman in the world, whether you're a fucking lion or you're a human woman, you want someone that's going to be able to protect you, to provide for you, to take care of you.
Yeah.
So, you with your fucking purse and your dress and your pretty nails is not going to do any of that for me if I'm a woman. You know what I mean? So I do think that eventually, innately, a woman's going to click in her head and be like, I want a man. I want a man. You know what I mean? Because I think that there's no way that it goes the other way with a straight woman anyway. You know?
It seems a little weird that – did he say that he's getting more matches from being bi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that seems – first off, one, that seems odd like you're saying because biologically – women are wired to want masculine men. You know what I mean? Like they could tell you, and we know that women tell you a whole bunch of things that maybe don't connect with reality, right?
Right.
You know, I love women, but sometimes what they see and what we see is two different things. It's just kind of the way it works.
We live in a place where people are trying to be so much of one kind of way that they might not even feel that way, but they're trying to be that way publicly.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. So they may not necessarily feel that, but they think that that's the thing that they're supposed to say, and that's the way they're supposed to act right now because of the state of affairs, right?
So many people doing that, though, which is a problem.
So it's not only weird that would get him more matches, but it's also weird that, like you would think that straight women would say, even if they want bi, right? Even if they want a guy who's bi and open, you think that when they click like the interested in, they would click straight men and bi men.
Yeah.
So the fact that like somehow being bi is getting him more matches almost seems like more of the technocracy, you know, like a big tech situation, you know, like on some conspiracy shit, like, oh, if you click buy, we open you up to a whole new level of babes. Like we save the 9s and 10s for the guys who click on buy. Because
for the guys
now
with nice moisturized eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I guess, you know, the long run of that is depopulation. You know, we're trying to depopulate. And I
think that, you know, I think that that's an agenda. I do.
And so, and I think that like a less masculine man, right, who's wearing a dress on the weekends or on the weekdays or, you know,
day.
I would assume that his sperm count and pipe game is probably not up to par with an alpha male who's like running his own show and standing on his square, right?
Yeah.
So now you're fucking a PTG who has less of a chance of a sperm connecting with your egg as opposed to alpha male who's got strong sperm floating up that vaginal canal.
Yeah, I'm saying it's shooting back there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
like a strong
as opposed to
shot.
dribbling out slowly.
Yeah, like or maybe just like a puff of a puff of baby powder comes out, like fresh scented baby. Like
you're talking like old men jerking off now, or
no. Like what would it be? Like maybe like a puff of like concealer comes out of the hammer. You know what I mean? I don't know if we would even call it a hammer at that point. Maybe like a palm nailer.
I like it, man. A nail file.
Oh man. So I got a hot tooth.
Yeah? What's a hot tooth?
A hot tooth is this thing that I got going on in my grill right now.
Okay.
I got all my teeth fixed.
Uh-huh.
Because they were murked, bruh.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, you did go to the dentist and finally get it all handled?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got it. It was killing me. It was fucking killing me,
yeah.
Right? You tried to.
Tooth pain will do that to you.
You tried to sell me on some snake oil.
No, the DMSO shit is so good. It filled an abscess out of my mouth. Out of my mouth. Your
camera's here.
I'm talking to them, too.
They don't see.
You're right, they don't. You are correct.
You got to look over there for them to see you.
But anyway, next time I want to talk to you guys, I'll look that way. But, yeah, that shit saved my life, and I'm terribly sorry that it didn't save yours.
I wish it would have.
I really did, too.
All it did was make my skin on the roof of my mouth. It just made my skin leathery.
Yeah,
so,
like it burnt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I go into the dentist because there's not really many things in life that I'm scared of. The dentist sends me into a tailspin. I turned stone cold sweetheart going to the dentist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like out of my control.
Right.
Right? Like I try to be tough and it just doesn't work, dude.
Yeah.
I just can't be tough at the dentist. I don't know what it is. Actually, I do know what it is. One time they put a needle in the roof of my mouth and it like sent me into like a anxiety attack, and ever since then I've just not been able to deal with the dentist. So they yank it, whatever. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was fine. It's out. But now I got a hole, right? Now I got a hole all up from my gum into my brain.
The whole canal going.
And my brain stinks, bro. You know what I'm saying? So this the scent from my brain is leaking out of that hole, and I can't seem.
You think it's the scent from your brain is what you think you're smelling.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
smelling my own brain,
All
bro,
right.
and it's shit.
Mm.
I got a shit
You
brain.
got a shit brain in there smelling your whole mouth up.
I got
it.
shit for brains,
Got
and
it.
it's stinking my mouth up. So no matter what I do, I just can't get this tooth clean. Like, I try and mouthwash, and then it comes right back. So
Did you try coconut oil?
I didn't try coconut
Do
oil.
coconut oil, dude. Leave it in your mouth and watch a half a show. Do it like a half hour. Put some coconut oil in your mouth and just leave it in your mouth. Switch it around every once in a while and spit it out.
I mean, I got to be honest with you, bro. Your credibility
All right,
went out
dude.
the window with DSMO.
DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, which for everyone else in the world will work except for Cove, who probably did the application wrong.
I'm interested that if somebody's listening right now who also has had success with DMSO.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would love you to drop it in a comment somewhere so that I know. Dentists on the streets are great compared to the dentists in CRAF. CRAF. Oh, CRAF is intake for New Jersey State Prison.
Gotcha.
The greatest project manager in all of Queens also happens to be an ex-convict.
Yeah. Well, he would be, I would think.
Which is how I know him. Which brings me into the next thing of where I met him. And, Joss, I know I said you could call in, but I got too many things going on to actually field a call because I'm without a producer tonight. So, sorry.
Yeah, he's doing figure eights right now with his feet all out for the public to see.
Yeah.
The producer.
In his roller skates.
Him and Big
You
Cuz
think he's
holding
in
hands.
You think he's in roller blades?
No way. Not even a little bit. I
No?
think he's in four-wheelers all day.
Now, here's the thing, bro. I think that the four-wheelers are probably cool. Like, you look cooler in a pair of four-wheel, like, speed skates or even the peanut butter rentals than you would come in
Blades.
with a pair of rollerblades.
Yeah.
Like,
because
think
it's
about
more
how a
full
rollerblade looks,
boot.
bro.
It looks real serious for
Yeah,
no reason.
it looks like you look like 1993 personified.
Yeah.
Like, if you have rollerblades on, you might as well have, like, a yellow, green, and blue windbreaker.
Yeah.
That's made of, like, remember the swooshy stuff?
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Yeah. It's made of the swooshies, but it has a cotton interior, and it's already pre-wrinkled.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not the look, man. That's not the look.
You need to at least be in the peanut butter rentals. If you're a top tier, you take a pair of Jordan 1s, put a roller skate wheel on the bottom, cut the toe out, cut the heel out, and rock like that.
Let 'em
Shuffle
know.
skate only. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rock and roll to Little Susie or something like that.
Yeah, man. I feel him, dude.
Memories
Yes.
of me and you go on and on. Are you familiar with freestyle music at all?
A little bit, but nowhere near you popping and locking your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, we were really big on freestyle in about 2000, right? When I was about 14.
I feel like that's a little late.
It was a little late.
Yeah, but it's good for you to bring it back, man.
We got into it because two of my homeboys, Uncle Smoke Dog and Shady, a.k.a. Kelly. Kelly was actually his last name, right? So they both had older sisters who were Italian and or Puerto Rican. And so they were like maybe 5, 6, 7 years older than us. So they were like going to the under 18 club in the heat of the freestyle movement.
Right.
And so that carried on those next 5 or 6 years, and they would listen to it, which then dribbled down to us. And there was just something, I guess because we listened to so much hip-hop, that just to get like a break of something else and like head in a different direction, we like coveted freestyle music at the time.
It was close enough, and probably really get it going with some freestyle music. It's like made for what you were doing.
It'll get the party popping for sure.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I mean, if you think of like Planet Rock or like the old like Boogie Down Bronx, like the old joints like that,
Basically freestyle.
they're very similar to like a freestyle club joint.
Yeah.
And shin pads. With your rollerblades? You putting on shin pads with your rollerblades, Keller?
Am I wrong for thinking that rollerblades kind of come over the shin anyway? Like a little bit.
I mean,
at least?
it's a high boot.
It's a hefty boot.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
with the peanut butters, they're like a leather. It's a nice supple leather.
It is
usually.
nice. It's a good look.
Yeah. With the rollerblade, you got like a plastic casing all around your ankle.
It's not as good of a look. You're right.
No.
But you look way more serious with a rollerblade. But why would you bring
You
rollerblades?
look like you're coming for business.
Yeah, but you don't do that when you go to a roller rink.
No.
You know what I mean? You do
No,
that
you
maybe
come
if you're
four-wheeled.
playing hockey and But
Right.
you're not going to come in there wearing the
Now,
four.
listen, in a roller rink, you could get off like a pair of Mission hockey skates.
Yeah.
You could kind of get that off if you're like a hockey bull.
I'm not very good at the rollerblade thing. It's not something I'm great at.
I used to be a pretty serious shuffle skater. I'm not even going front, bro.
It makes sense to who you
Yeah,
are. It's
obviously.
like kind of somewhere between breakdancing and bike riding is shuffle skates.
Shuffle skating. You know, couples only. This one's for couples only.
Yeah.
Next
Zin,
one's
zin,
for
zin,
shuffle
zin, zin.
skaters. Zin, 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 zin.
That's fun, though, man. I'm happy he's having a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for the first time ever on the Gig podcast, the mics sound good. So it's amazing how everything works
Got
out.
him!
Zing!
But we don't have, like, the bells and whistles either.
That's fine.
You know what I mean?
I got plenty of bells and whistles with my personality, and so do you, man.
That's
We're
true.
bells up and whistle up.
But I do, one of my favorite things is the little John that where's my camera? Where's my camera? The little John that comes across the screen right here where it says the Gig Podcast.
So we don't have that
2
going
G's
right
and
now.
a mic. No, and then he'll switch it mid-episode and say, like, supermarket investment kings. You know what I mean? Or, like, whatever we're talking about.
He is good. I really would have liked to hear what his take is on the baby Lil Nas X thing, because it would have been different than both of our opinions, I'm sure.
Yeah. He's always got a different opinion than me. That's why we keep him around, because I
Yeah.
need somebody to fight with sometimes.
Yeah, fighting with people is good.
Look, I fight with Payday more than I fight with anybody, and then we walk away and we're still friends.
Yeah, because you're men.
Yeah, so you could learn a thing or two from me and Payday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Um,
Talking about freestyle and roller skates. I don't know where else we were going with that. You
Here's
got something else going on?
yeah, I did. I wanted to tell you about this place, right?
Okay.
That I know maybe there's like some people in here. I don't know who's in here. I don't know if I could see who's in the live. Maybe I can. Maybe I can't. Probably not. But anyway, that's irrelevant to this, that, or the third. I'm new to all this, sitting behind these boards, so
Doing great, man.
I'm doing the best I can. So, you know, if you're somebody who doesn't know I'll tell you that I am, because maybe you shared this, right? So maybe we got some of your crew
I hope so.
over here hanging out. And if you are, welcome, and I appreciate you being here. Just so you know, we also broadcast live on YouTube, the
Yep.
Gig Podcast channel. And then every Friday night at 9, we do a show without MC Biscuit over there because he's doing his daddy thing. Although we would love to have him every Friday night.
I'll start calling in. It'll be great.
Our schedules just don't cooperate for that. So that's why we're here on a Monday with the GBMC podcast. Or maybe just the GBMC. Yeah, no podcast. The GBMC. The Gig presents GBMC.
GBMC, it's us.
So here's the thing I'm trying to tell you very wordily,
Okay, word it out.
very loquaciously.
Word.
Are you familiar with the word loquacious?
Loquacious. I think I knew her.
You met her at a show back in the
I
day?
think she was trying to get my number the other day.
She cute, though.
There was a girl trying to. Can I interrupt before you
Yeah,
get into the
give it
story?
to me. Tell me about it.
So-
The story is just filler, bro.
Okay, it's all filler. That's all we do.
That's true.
I'm Filbert at the end of the day.
You're
so
coming out as Filbert?
I'm coming out, dude, like Little Nas X of the Filbert.
All right, Filbert.
So we did a show. So everything's been going really good in my life in general because everything's just been. I've been like really open to shit, and things have just been good, right?
Right.
So the other day I post on Instagram just like, hey, anyone want to book me? Want to book Dumb Ugly? Want to book any of us? I just really want to play a show. It's been like fucking. It seems like 2 years, right? You all right over there?
My mic's falling.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
You
Keep
got
going.
the Alicia Keys.
Keep telling me.
All right. So Miles hits me up the next day, and he's like, yeah, we got the show. There's people that saved my life for the homeless outreach people. Want to throw a show. I want to play it. He's like, are you available? And I was like, yeah, can I bring my daughter? He's like, yeah, sure, let's get it. And so we go out and do the show. We're having fun. You know, it was like I got a little emotional because Miles got a little honest. You know what I mean? And it was like it was just a nice thing to be
Did he
up
do
there.
like a speaking thing?
Well, he did a verse that was at the end of our set that we both kind of came to the agreement on that he should end with. That's a lot. It's a very serious
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Miles, who's doing phenomenal, by the way. And,
He's doing
I'll give him
incredible.
his props every chance I get.
Yeah,
He looks
really
so
is.
goddamn handsome with those
He
face
is.
tattoos.
He is doing good, man. He
Yeah.
does look like a good-looking dude.
If I was
man.
PTG,
I hear you, bro.
Yeah, man.
The whole point of what we're trying to do now is to make others PTG. You know what I mean? We're out here trying to get people PTG.
heartthrobs.
Yeah, heartthrobs.
Shed Jam heartthrobs.
That's us. It's the boys.
SJHT.
We here. When we get when DJ Sev 1 comes back, it's a wrap for
Hey,
motherfucking host.
listen, I was driving through North Philly on my way to check out a job, and Sev 1 had a route out there,
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
fresh route
Yeah,
too, because I've went that way before and haven't seen him, and then I saw Sev 1 was heavy up there by Germantown Ave. So what up,
He
Sev 1,
went
killing it.
crazy when he came back here the last time.
Yeah,
when I tell
bonkers.
you he didn't sleep, dude. If he wasn't in New York with models, he was down here spray painting everything that he could see.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful thing to just. Because I drive around the city all the time, too, for work or whatever, and
Yeah.
I live there, so I see him all over the place, which is great.
It's great to see the contrast of he goes to New York and bangs models and then comes back to the shitty of Philadelphia and writes his name on the wall.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
His life, like, I'll watch him. Like, I think he did the Poirier-McGregor after party. Like, everyone was there at the after party. He didn't even say anything about it to me or anything, right?
Right.
I just see
That's
him on
fucking gangster.
Theo Von's Instagram. I see
Sev
Sev
One.
1 in the background. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier's right there after, Conor McGregor just snapped his leg in half. And it's just amazing. But, like, you watch his Instagram story, and it's like, all right, Monday night, French Montana. Tuesday night, 2 Chainz. Wednesday night, whoever the fuck, right? But it's just like this dude's life is a goddamn movie. Like, everything he does is just incredible. And then
he had to one-up his brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think, no disrespect to Stress or anything across the board, because God forbid I mended that bridge back together, and let's keep it that way.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he really elevated. He's seriously on his game. That's what he does. That's his
he didn't want to be. He didn't want to be in his brother's shadow, so he made his own.
He made his own shadow.
I'm sure he used some of his brother's connections.
Oh, 100%. He wouldn't be who he was without. Without Stress.
But he took him and made it happen.
Yeah. And he kind of found his own lane, which was different, right? But here, back to me, because it's about me now.
Heartthrobs.
About heartthrobs at the show, right? So I take my shirt off, which is a normal thing that I normally do on stage, especially when it's hot outside.
You look
and
a whole
like
lot
that.
better doing it nowadays.
It's
though.
almost like I almost felt better doing it back then because I knew it was like I did it because it was atrocious, right? So now doing it's not so atrocious, and it's like, oh, well, you're not that fit, dude. You know what I mean? Like, well, I don't know what you're trying to do, but really, I'm just hot, right?
You're gonna get there, though.
I'm gonna get there soon.
You're really on your way.
I'm really gonna get there, dude.
Yeah.
I'm finding myself when people are taking pictures, like really clenching down and flexing a little bit.
She likes the way I.
Yeah, she does like that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we finish up the set. Miles does this thing. People are funneling out as we're going, like any show where people bring their friends, you know what I mean? After they perform, everyone kind of goes with it. And we're like, oh, let's get this done, right? So we go up, we do our set. It's beautiful. It's nice to perform again, yada, yada, yada. Get off stage. Miles does this thing. We're all talking, people dapping us up. We're all talking, whatever. This lady comes up. She's kind of like floating around, and she starts like making small talk with me, and I'm there with my daughter. She's riding a scooter. I'm not really interested in what this lady's saying, but I'm trying to be nice, right?
Where's the show at?
Germantown.
Okay.
It's like past like Nicetown area. It was really cool spot. It was just like a parking lot, but they just had like 2 little speakers. It sounded great. They do shows there all the time now, and it's all like.
I used to be pretty heavy in Germantown.
I believe it.
In
man.
the construction.
I
world.
believe it.
Yeah.
You're heavy. You're heavy out here, dude.
I try to be.
So this lady comes around or whatever. She comes up to me. She starts talking to me, small talk. I kind of avoid her. Come back. She's like, oh, you have a kid? And I'm like, yeah, it's my kid. She's like, oh, all right, yeah. You got a girlfriend, you got a wife, you got all this. And then I start feeling like, all right, dude. And I'm not interested at all. Not even because I'm not physically attracted to this woman. But
how'd she look?
She was all right, but I'm very picky.
Big girl?
A little bigger than I would.
And you like them rail skinny.
So I'm starting to open up my head a little bit because I've actually been having dreams about a little bit more meat.
Husky
you know what
girls.
I mean? Just a little bit of hip going on. Like just the hip meat is really what I'm thinking about. Yes. So I'm not so sure that I'm so one way about things, but I know that regardless of what I'm into, it's only going to be a very small select few of women that I'm even attracted to.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking wired like that. This lady's talking to me. It's nice. I feel good about it because I'm feeling myself, and she's obviously feeling me, right? So then I'm like, oh, yeah. I told her, she was like, yeah, it would be nice to go out for a drink sometime. I said, I am not in that place of my life right now. I was like, I'm not dating right now.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of that, which is funny because some lady that I was really into, woman that I was really into recently, the first one that I've been into.
Oh, you dating old ladies now, dog?
Yeah, I'm dating old ladies now. She does got me by a couple years, so I could call her an old lady. But I was still stuck on my ex for all this time, which I now think I think I officially took a big giant leap over that, and it's on fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just on fire over there burning. I kind of look back, and I'm like, yeah, there was memories, and it's good, but it's fine now.
Right.
So I feel like I'm finally over that, which it only took about 7.5 months, which is probably a little long, but after a 5-year relationship, whatever.
It's
anyway,
all right, man. It's all right.
This girl, I tell her, I kind of feel bad about telling her, I'm not really with the shits. She goes away. I went over to Miles. I was like, "That lady's on my top," and he's like, "Yeah, I figured." You know what I mean? Like being my friend, you know.
Yeah.
And then she came back again, and she was like, "Yo, how can I get in contact with you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm at Biz Mighty on everything, just being a regular dude at a show."
Yeah,
She
get
was
with
like,
me.
She
You
was
get
like,
with me if
she
you
was
need
like, "Can
me."
I get your number?" She's like, "I'm not really on social media," and I was already away.
She's pushing. She's looking thirsty
so
now.
much, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm already away from everybody. She kind of cornered me over by the trash cans. You know what I mean?
Man, you
So
had no exit route.
I gave her my number, right?
Yeah. You
But
had no choice.
I cannot answer her. It's not like she's not gonna.
But you don't know
anything on me.
You don't know what number she's calling from.
I don't know what she's gonna do, right?
Yeah.
So,
she could hit you with the old 52 fake out.
I did find out though, right?
You found out her number.
So she puts her number down my phone. Her name was like Vonnie or something like that. I don't know what her name was because I didn't want to ask her again because I was already over this.
So you put in Vonnie.
I put in Vonnie, which
Okay.
might not be it, but it might be
And her name may be Loquacious.
Veronica. Yeah, it's probably Loquacious. Yes. So then she comes over, she gets my number, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And I get into the car, and it almost made me smile a little bit because she was just into me. And I've been that dude to somebody else so many times that it was like nice to be on the opposite side of it.
For sure.
So I get in my car. I'm going.
You're a star, babe.
I am, dude. I'm shining. I'm like the sun.
Yeah. Standing right where you're supposed to be, shining on everybody.
I'm the God.
Yeah.
Ra the God. So I get in my car. I'm talking to Miles. He's in his car. We're like, yo, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because we feel like doing something after
What's
that.
Miles driving nowadays?
He's got a TL. Got a nice
for
little
real?
Acura TL. Yeah, and it's really fucking nice. He got nice wheels on it. He had I forget what he had before that, but it was not a TL.
Right.
And now the TL
he stepped
game.
this shit up. Yeah,
man.
I mean, listen, you can have you're a different dude if you got face tats hopping out of a squatter than if you're the dude with face tats hopping out of an Acura.
It could even be a Honda Accord, which is basically a maybe not quite a TL, but it's a huge difference between a Honda and an Acura as far as perception goes.
Yeah,
regardless
for sure.
that they were made in the same exact factory with the same exact parts.
For sure.
Just like a Lexus and a Toyota. It's like people I heard Rogan talking the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, I had 3 Lexuses, they never break." It's like it's the same thing. It's Toyota, dude. It's not. You're not. What are you balling? You know what I mean? Relax. It's a Toyota. It's a Honda. Both of those cars will last forever. Regardless, though. So she comes up again now. I'm in my car. Miles is on the phone with me, sitting in front of me. I'm trying to talk to him about we're going to go to this diner and eat some food, right? He's still doing keto and all that stuff, so I ate bread right in front of him. I didn't care.
Well, you are the keto general, so
I taught him everything he knows.
You gave him the game, and now you're out of the game. You had to pass it down so that you could move on.
Yeah, I did. But he's still there, and he's killing it. I think he lost like 30 pounds now, so he's right behind me as far as weight loss goes. So whatever. This lady comes now up to my car window and says, "Did you get my text?" And I'm like, "Nah, I didn't get your text." So I'm on the phone with Miles, so I can't even check the text because the way everything's all set up there, I'm on the whatever. So she sends me a text, and the text reads, "Hey, I'm broke right now, but if you want to take me out, that would be great."
That's
and
a
I'm just
wild text to send.
Right.
That's a wild opener.
To this dude you just met, bro.
Yeah.
We literally, you just cornered me. You obviously knew that I was standoffish, and now you're going to try to abuse me and say, you want to take me out right now.
Is she, like,
with my daughter in the car.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Is she trying to play the sympathy card? Is that like she thought maybe she could get some sympathy hammer from you?
I don't know. See, I don't know. I'm pretty selfish.
Or maybe she was really just hungry, and since you were a guy who was doing an event for the homeless,
right?
She was like, "Oh, this is a charitable dude. I need a good meal. You know what I mean? I'll trade."
Yeah.
I'll trade a little.
We're there literally for homeless
Snapdragon.
outreach. I'm sure she could have found a meal. You know what I mean?
Well, also, she's looking for a better meal. You're looking like looking like a snack.
Listen,
so
if my
she's
daughter
hungry,
wasn't
Daddy.
there, she would have blew me by the dumpster, and I would have called it a day because I could use some of that.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
She would have
right.
been perfect blow me by the dumpster material. That was 100% blow me by the dumpster. And I haven't had blow me by the dumpster in years, bro. We're talking, 9, 10, 12 years that I've been blown by a dumpster. So it would have been nice to relive that a little bit.
I got to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever been blown by a dumpster.
Oh, some outdoor blowjobs is maybe some of the best blowjobs I've ever gotten.
Maybe as a kid.
I've been blown on a curb. I've been blown next to a car. I've been blown in an alleyway near a dumpster. This is the one where I'm talking about specifically, the dumpster. I've been blown on when I was a young boy, I was blown on a bench or like a swing bench out front of her mom's house. You know, that was dope because I got to swing in and out. You know what I mean? Very small swings. These swings were very minimal.
You were on the sex swing movement early.
I was, man. I was 17 years old.
Like an early adopter to the sex swing kind of thing.
I was crushing.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it was just a really weird scenario with this lady, and then oh, dude, I know you still remember what you're getting to, right? Because I got a whole bunch of vomit going out of my head.
I'm not getting to anything, man.
Okay,
I'm
man,
getting
cool.
to talking to my man and having a fucking hard coffee.
I'm vomiting, dude. You know, I haven't been drinking. I haven't smoked weed in 4 days now.
I know. I offered you one, but I already knew that you were going to say no.
Yeah. I saw the pen, too, and I was like, oh, man. You know what I mean?
You're welcome to it.
I know. I'm trying not to.
That's what it's here for, because I don't smoke the thing, but I
don't.
keep it around for everybody else.
Yeah, it's a good move by you.
I try to be a classy guy. You know what fucking Galvone told me? He said, he was like, listen, I found out, bro, you're like undercover classy. I'm like, I don't think I'm undercover classy. I just think I'm a classy guy.
Right.
You know, because he always does savage shit. Like he'll take a shit while a customer is sitting on the couch and the couch is 10 feet from the bathroom. And I'm like, bruh. I'm like, you can't do that.
That's
He's like,
called
why not?
courtesy. It's not class. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I would say it's sans class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Without class, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I was even though I'm a wild knucklehead and kind of gruff, as I've been told, a little bit gruff when you meet me, right?
A little gruff every once in a while, yeah.
I don't think so. I see myself as like a soft 16-year-old suburban kid. That's how I.
Same, but me and you are very different. I am more of a soft suburban 16-year-old than you are. You're way more hardened and experienced and things like that than I am.
Yeah, but I also think that lately I'm getting even more soft, right? Which, it is what it is. But yeah, in my head, I'm a soft 16-year-old suburban teenager, and I'm also my inner voice is like a bad stand-up comedian, like an open mic stand-up comedian. But, even though I'm like, you meet me, I'm a little bit gruff. I'm a construction worker. I got jail tattoos and shit. I got class.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I try to portray it as often as possible.
Yeah, you're a good dude, man.
So I try and do shit like have the pen for the gentlemen who are smokers and have a fridge full of drinks if you want to have a beverage. There's waters in there, too.
I'm plenty, man. I'm drinking a
if
little
you
bit
need
of
to
coffee.
Stay hydrated.
Now I do way less coffee, too. I'm trying to do everything. Actually, I was in the hood today waiting for my car to do, so I had to jump back up to 48 milligrams of nicotine, but I was down to 24, and I'm trying to get down to 0.
What flavor you got over there?
This is, you want some of this? This is some Fruit Monster mixed berry ice. I'm only doing, you don't like the ice. But I only do that. I only do ice things.
I do like this company, though. I have Jam Monster in mine right now, banana-flavored Jam Monster.
Yeah, it sounds good.
If I had maybe I'll hit you with some because it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll try.
Remind me before you leave, and I'll pour out. I got little tiny like tester vials basically, and I'll give you one so that you could leave with it because you'll love this shit.
Wow, man, we're talking about class, and you're being classy on top of it while we're talking about it.
I don't see it just
it's
comes
like
out, bro.
Man.
It's
you can't help it.
I couldn't be a savage if I tried, and I've tried. You know what I mean? I just ooze class.
It always comes back to haunt you, that class.
Well, here's what I'm going to say is that I think you deserve to be sought after by ladies a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know your history of like previous times you were single, but I know who you are now and who you've come from being over the past. I probably known you for, what do you think, 8 years maybe?
Maybe 10, yeah.
Could be close to 10, right? So I know where you've come from 10 years ago to where you're at now. And I think that all the work that you've put in, you deserve to be sought after and chased after. And like, look, you're not going to have dimes chasing you because dimes don't chase nobody.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're used to getting chased.
But for me, my DM, they're out of my, like, the girls that are talking to me, I look at like they're out of my league because I think I still see myself as like a fat, ugly dude. You know what I mean? And stinky and, and I know who I am. You know what I mean? Which is not necessarily a prize. I don't view it that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's nice. The interactions that I've been getting and even the girls that have been showing interest have been like kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying, I was in a relationship. So my daughter was born. I was just getting out of that relationship, but prior to that, I was in that relationship for 3 years. Then my daughter was born. Then I took like about 2.5 years off, and I was out in King of Prussia living my own life and just working on myself. It was the last time that I was working on myself. And then after that, I didn't date anybody. I had sex with one girl and then started dating my ex, who I was with for 5 years. So in my adult life, I mean, since I was 21 years old, I've been very limited in my experiences as far as relationships goes, and I think it shows.
Right.
So I think it's good that where I'm at right now, and I think I have to experience this a little bit and ride this wave a little bit because it might be the first time in my life that I've ever felt sought after.
Yeah.
And there is sought after.
Yeah.
And it's nice and it feels good. And once again, like, you feel better about yourself and all that stuff. And then something, cute girls in your inbox will make you feel even, another 3 tiers higher than you already felt about yourself.
Well, and that's what I think is going to happen with you is that as you're finding your place in your spot in the sexual marketplace here, right, where you fit in, because like you said, you still think you fit in as overweight, not giving a fuck about yourself, no fitness, no, you know what I mean?
Nothing.
Yeah, just that guy. You still think you fit in there, and reality is that you jumped up some notches.
Yeah.
So now you're kind of finding where you fit in the sexual marketplace, the SMP, if you will, the SMP 500. See where your stock's at.
Yep.
You're going to start connecting more to who you are now, right?
Right.
Because that feedback from women who now want to talk to you
It's
and are sought after.
elevating my mental.
Yeah, it's like that. It's the idea of like, it's connecting with that you've raised a little bit. It's the proof. It's the proof that has shown like you've bettered yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why we had discussed with my guy Philbert.
Right.
We discussed telling him that maybe it is time like that you get back out and start swinging and just, start throwing your dick around a little bit.
Right.
And even if not throwing your dick around, throw your conversation around.
Yeah.
And see what's out there, who likes you, who you can get with, and what kind of things happen in that, that facet of your life.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I think that that's going to start happening. I also think that it started happening because I was working on myself. I started with depression. I started working on myself, and then as I was working on myself, I was still stuck on my ex. So I wasn't sought after. I wasn't seeking anything.
Yeah.
I was still like, what am I going to do? I'm looking around my apartment. It's all her. You know what I mean? It's our apartment. You know what I mean? It's still in my head. So that's going to be a new thing, where that's going to end briefly. You know what I mean? Where I'll be out of that apartment and it'll be less on my mind. You know what I mean? And maybe out of the area and all that other stuff. So maybe it'll just be more of that.
Where are you trying to get to?
I don't really know. I just know that I'm looking at, like we were talking earlier, about maybe getting back to my old job. And if I get back to my old job, then I'll be making enough to get the fuck out of where I'm at. And then at that point, I know the market's not great right now or anything like that. I'm not trying to necessarily I'm not necessarily trying to buy anything, but to rent a house so my daughter has a bedroom and maybe I have a nice little piece of land that I can let my dog shit on would be a great step up. But I am focusing on me, and I think that that's why this is happening. I think that's why there's dude, I can't tell you in my life besides, dirty whores that want to fucking ruin my relationship. The last time that my inbox looked anything like it looks now. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. Most of my interest is not even in there. I only had interest in one girl, right? And I think that kind of sparked everything in my head. So I started talking to her. And then I'm not really sure. I need to be in person because the people that I know for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. They know me.
Yeah.
They know what kind of person I am. They know what I think is funny. They know that I'm kind of a dick. They know that I kind of play a villain card a little bit or combative, or whatever, conflicted.
For sure.
So those people tend to be my friends. New people, I'm kind of like, I have to like kind of rein it back a little bit, which then leads me from not being myself.
Yeah.
And then if I'm with you in person, you can see who I am and that I'm genuine and that I'm, I am. This is me, right?
Yeah.
So
I could see that. I could see that being a thing, but I also think that there's some benefit to not reining it in a little bit.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I want to rein it in, but what I end up doing is end up vomiting who I am to people because I just do that naturally. I want you to know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So in that, I'll tell you how small my dick is, what my porn history is, and everything because I want you to know who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So understand I'm not trying to pretend. I'm not trying to – when I was a kid, I was a compulsive liar. All I did was lie.
Right.
There was a cool jersey that kid had. I have that jersey. You don't have that jersey. Now I'm stealing money from my mom to buy a jersey that I said I had that I didn't have, and then it becomes a whole big fucking thing, right? And nowadays I'm so anti that. The only time that I lie now or fib now is to motivate myself.
Yeah.
I did 60 push-ups today. I only did 40. Now I got to go do 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the kind of fibs that I'm doing now because I'm not going to really lie to you.
I like that kind of fib.
I'm just going to fib myself into things, just like an addict might manipulate himself into putting himself in a position to get drugs, and then that same addict can manipulate people into making good things happen for themselves and other people. Like I see that in Miles a lot, like the way that he conducts himself with people, I still see the addict in him, or I
Right.
still see the mental
A little
part
bit of a
his
weasel.
Yeah, the mental part of him that made him an addict. I don't think you're an addict first, and then I think it's the mental that allows you to be that kind of person.
Keep talking to me.
I'm talking to you. But I see it, and I think that it's the same kind of thing with me, only with the lying or whatever it was that made me, not sure to be myself, uncomfortable. And I don't know. It's just what I'm working on. It's hard for me to focus when you're over there.
I know. I'm sorry. I got to get some air in here. It's getting a little bit toasty.
No, I like it. Nowhere near as bad as it was last time. Last time I was so incredibly uncomfortable.
No, well, that's because it's not 90 degrees outside. I think last time you were here, it was 94 at midnight when we finished the show, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to this little thing, right? So she could literally watch this right now. I just became friends with her on Facebook, so this might be really blowing it.
Fuck it.
No,
I'm sure. Listen, I think if she was watching it, she'll probably love that you're discussing it.
She's not watching it. She's very busy and about her business, which is also really nice to even have interest in someone like that at all. Because most of the
that's good. Yeah. Because you don't want clingy right now.
No,
you want a chick that's got her own thing going on.
I'll do me. We'll see.
And I'll see you on Friday night.
Well, I really just wanted. That's where I think I was.
I'll see you after 12.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I heard that. I'm saying what you like about your feet being rubbed with this homemade shea butter I got from the Nubians.
Bro, you ain't got homemade shea butter.
I got homemade shea butter, bro. It's my daughter's, but I'll steal some and use it on Shorty's feet.
You got it from the
Nubian motherfuckers at the Berlin Mart.
You got it from the Mart. That's what I was about to say. I knew you got it from the Mart,
Had
bro.
to go. That was the reason I went to the Mart. You know what I mean? I got a driver because I started playing golf a little bit, and I got some shea butter for my daughter that I use on myself every once in a while.
I'm more of a cocoa butter guy myself.
I believe that, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you rub it right on the 7?
Of course.
Yeah, of course you do.
It actually, when I rub, only Palmer's though. Like I can't do that Queen Helene. Like I tried rubbing Queen Helene on the 7, and nothing happened. Like when I rub Palmer's on it, it starts to shine. Like an actual light glows off of the 7.
Yeah, you got the aura coming on.
Yeah, so I'll slather myself in cocoa butter.
Yeah, I feel you. I just started doing that. It's all about self-care is important, man.
Absolutely.
And you know that I'm not that dude. So I'm slowly becoming that dude. I was looking at sneakers today. There's already something might happen, dude. I'm fitting it on clothes. This is a fucking large I'm wearing. This is a 1984 Marlboro Miles shirt. It's probably worth like $200
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it got the coyote on the back. 1984, dude.
Yeah, it's
single stitched.
Vintage.
It's very vintage.
Vintage. Let me ask you this, because this is a big topic of conversation on many a nights during the gig is, are you wearing a scent? Do you have a cologne? What do you got? What are you wearing?
I got Burberry on.
Burberry what?
I don't know what the fuck it is, dude.
Brit?
I'm not
Weekend?
Really, it's blue. It's in a long canister. I usually used it when I would smoke weed in the car and someone would pull me over.
So it's not a cologne. It's like a body spray.
It is a cologne.
Like an aerosol?
It's a.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it is. And I actually, what I wore earlier today I did my workout, got in the shower, and then I finished, and then I did more workout. Like I just did some more pull-ups, and I did a couple more push-ups, and I sprayed Jordan cologne, which is what I wore when I was 7.
That's a real throwback. And actually, I don't know if you listened to all the 10 Fresh Commandments, but that kind of falls in the no-go zone.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to give you a pass because you also, I believe that you fall into the same category as we put a 13-year-old kid right now when it comes to your freshness and your scent. This is a whole new world that you're delving into.
I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, I'm only a text or a phone call away.
Yeah. I will. I'm going to get there, man.
Here's what you have. You have an invaluable resource in the fact that you have the freshest kid out here just a phone call away from you for any questions that you might have.
If you don't ever feel appreciated, that's my fault because you are very appreciative in my life.
No, I told Payday that the other week is that
yeah, you're like a life coach.
Yeah, with a couple of guys, I do feel like I am helping some guys out with some things, which then makes me look at my life and say oh, well, I must be doing all right.
Yeah,
you know
supply wisdom to help me with my own path of enlightenment.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah.
You need to surround yourself with people like that in general, not people that are doing the opposite, that are negatively radiating. You know?
No, you want other sons in your
in my circle.
In your universe, for sure. You don't want to be the only son.
Yeah, but you're probably right about the Jordan. I also am very nostalgic. So
Okay.
like that was one of my colognes. Like I'm literally when I was like 9 years old.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I believe
when
that.
I graduated
Listen, it's
from.
not, I believe it. I promise you.
Okay.
I promise that I
went from-
believe a fourth grader is wearing Jordan cologne.
All right.
All right.
Dude. I think it smells good, dude. To be honest
It
with
might
you.
smell good. Let me tell you this. Use that as your, for now, right? Until you get something else.
Well, I got the Burberry.
You got the Burberry.
And the Burberry smells
right.
good.
You need 2 cents.
I think you do.
You need at least 2 cents.
But that it really was. It was a base scent after I had maybe a little bit of musk on me after doing 12 pull-ups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then.
Yeah, like you could rock Jordan at the gym.
Yeah.
You could put a spritz of Jordan on before you go to work.
Right.
If you wanna be like the freshest kid out here, you could put 2-3 spritzes of Jordan on before you go to bed.
Okay.
You know, if you feel the need to do that. There's not a lot of guys.
I'm not going to do that.
You don't have to.
Right.
That's not
That's
necessity.
an optional one.
That's really just to maintain my top spot as freshest kids out here.
Yeah.
But you have that for like your you use the Jordan as your
The base.
yeah, your everyday cologne. And
Because
then
I was always big on the fair. I am still. I always want to know a woman's natural scent, even like a little bit of her musky scent.
Yeah, you have to.
I need to know that at least
You
a
have
little
to.
bit. And I also feel like even though my musky scent is not something that I find attractive, I think that I would like to find someone who does find it attractive. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be big and sweaty on top of you, and you need to know that that's what it smells like.
you're
going
going to need to get into this big sweatiness.
You need to know what you're dealing with.
You're going to have to like my funk.
Right, as it drips off my nose into your mouth,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
need
you're
to
gonna
know
have to
that
be
you're
into
with the
that.
shit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that Jordan is like you're saying, your base. That's your work, your gym,
And it
your wake up and make eggs on a Saturday morning
Mhm.
cologne, and then you're doing a show. You got a date. You're going out to pick up some joint for a cup of coffee.
Right.
You're going to anywhere else that there might be chicks who you could possibly run into and have conversation.
Yeah,
You
little
put the
bit of-
Burberry on.
Yeah.
Whether it be ShopRite or Barnes & Noble, as we recommended to my friend Filbert.
Yeah. I think that maybe Barnes & Noble actually, and also joining something, like now that, maybe there's optimal time for me to get my pockets right, that maybe joining a class, doing something like that. Ask is always one that's always like, oh, man, you got to roll around. You got to, you know what I mean? Something like that. He wants to get into Taekwondo, get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, get into something, maybe that's not where I'm going to meet women at.
No, it's not.
But it's just the idea of doing a class is something I'm interested in doing just for myself.
Yeah.
If there happens to be women there, great.
I think depending on how much you want to. Yeah, I guess you got to decide whether you want to meet women at some kind of gathering like a class, and then you select a class based upon that. If you have no interest in it, then fucking go do some jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Well, both. So,
but I think CrossFit might be the spot for you.
Yeah. And it would also help me tremendously in general.
Yeah, I think that from our discussions about fitness, I think that you have the drive, but I think you're lacking the killer instinct to get you to just be a fucking robot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Application.
Yeah, we want you to fucking look like RoboCop.
Yeah.
And you need a little bit more of a kick in the ass every time you work out to get that, and I think something like CrossFit would give you that kick in the ass.
Well, I've stepped up a lot in the last couple of weeks as far as just being able – my output is just way better than it was. And I know that also comes with just, continuing and staying disciplined. But my output is, another 4 reps and another 1 set on top of everything that I'm doing now as opposed to what I was doing 2 weeks ago, which to me is huge, right? Because I just feel like it's more. It's more.
As it should be. You got to keep progressing.
But I do think back to the thing I was saying before is like.
I don't even know what the thing you were saying before was. We keep going off on these.
It's okay.
We get way off on a tangent.
Tangents, dude.
And then we bring it back into
we'll
whatever
bring it back.
was we were
we'll
talking
come
about.
back. It'll be an hour later. We'll talk about what we were talking about.
Now back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, right. Back to hot tooth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it would benefit me greatly to be in a position to be with people or women in person as opposed to anything else, like the social media shit, whatever. Back to that girl that made me. It kind of triggered me a little bit, like in a bad way and a good way. But I ended up having a good outcome, which was I thought this girl was into me. I reached out to somebody that was a mutual friend.
The one that looks like the Joan that you just saw?
No, that was a girl that tried to ruin my fucking life.
Oh, that one.
She was absolutely awful. That was the only girl that I had sex with after my ex.
I thought she was a black girl.
She is black. Yeah, that girl, she was a black Spanish girl.
Oh,
that girl looked like something.
Nah, she was a white girl.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She looked real ethnic.
She's not.
Okay. Anyway. But yeah, that was the black girl that I was with did not look like a black girl. She looked like a Spanish girl.
Okay.
But she was half black, regardless. I think she was Spanish too. It doesn't matter.
It's really irrelevant.
I hated her so much. She's so awful, and I wish the worst.
Okay. So we're talking about Loquacious.
No,
who was
no. We're
you.
not talking about Loquacious anymore. That was over too. So
okay.
this one girl, I noticed that
the one that you like.
Yeah,
okay.
I did like her.
That you just became friends with on Facebook?
I just became friends with on Facebook.
Okay.
And I've been friends. We talked on Instagram for a while. Big paragraphs back and forth. Felt really good. And then I think I just overshared a little bit because it ended up being a lot less. Now I don't know. Maybe she's just busy. Maybe she's just reading me wrong.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to be real forward, and I think that she kind of saw it maybe as I was being funny. You know what I mean? But I wasn't. I was being like, no, I'm genuinely
keeping
asking
it funky
you.
With her.
I'm genuinely what's going. Can we interact in human? Because otherwise I'm going to blow it. You know what I mean? And I just want to get to the point where we interact in human. Raining outside?
No, that's me pulling out a breath strip.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's, I guess because of that headphones, dude, that really blew my mind.
Crackling
like Interstellar.
crackling in you.
So, but I think I might have blown it, right? But the point of it was that I started feeling, so I texted a friend of mine. I said, yo, I'm pretty sure this girl might be into me. Do you know anything about her? And he was like, she's not into you, bro. Because she's up here, right? And then he also sees me as I see me because as well as he's aware of that, all the changes I've made and all the good stuff, he knows me way longer as being the other guy, right?
Right.
So he's like, I don't think she's into you, dude, but I think you're reaching. The reason I was reaching is because I'd post something. I would post a story on Instagram. It had one view, and it would be her. Like, it would be a minute. I would drop something. She'd be on it. A minute, I'd drop something. She'd be on it. Then I started doing it on purpose. Then I would be like, I'm going to drop something now.
See what?
I never am looking
watching.
at who's on my story list, right?
Yeah.
But because of the new me, quote unquote, I have way more people interested, right? As far as I have way more people on my story than I ever had before.
Yeah.
So now I notice it. So now when I post something and there'd be one person, I'd be like, this girl's looking at it right away. Like and if I'm doing that, it's because I fucking want to see what you're posting, right? I'm interested in you. So I asked him. He's like, I don't think so. Then he talked to somebody. He's like, oh, yeah, she's into you. She asked about you. She's asked about you. So I'm like, holy shit. And I started feeling really good, right?
Yeah.
So I go into it feeling myself a little bit, but then also being very honest and I don't want you to down the road. Now, I know I probably shouldn't be thinking about down the road that quickly, but I don't want to down the road for you to be like, oh, this guy's a fucking not who he says he was. I'm going to tell you who I am. That way, if you still fucking follow me into this realm, I already told you.
Yeah.
I told you everything. You're no surprises. But because it went from paragraphs back and forth to knowing you greatly and you knowing me greatly, and I felt like a real good thing. And then I think I misread something that she said because I'm self-loathing a little bit. And I kind of took it to heart when it was probably said in jest.
Yeah.
And it kind of ruined the way that I was interacting with her. And then I was like, did I blow it? Like, literally texted her. Like, am I blowing it? You know what I mean?
Classic overthinking.
Yeah, that's what I do. And but anyway, coming out of that, because of that confidence and because of that willingness to accept something new, I was like, oh, I'm good. That was that walk over the fire I took.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was me being like, there was girls in my DM before. I was on OkCupid and Tinder and whatever the fuck and doing all that dumb shit. And there was girls in my inbox from that shit, right? But it wasn't anything I was interested in. It was just to shine. I just wanted to shine. Oh, you like me? Okay, good. Now I smile and now it's over. And in the same instant, she was, girls, whatever. Certain girls would be like, oh, you want to hang out? You want to hang out? You want to do this? Now, weeks on end. Where they're like, what are you doing tonight? What are you doing? What are you doing here? What are you doing? You want to come to this with me? You want to do this with me? And I had an excuse for every single one of these things that people are giving me. Not because I genuinely had an excuse. I did. I was either doing DoorDash to make sure my fucking lights stay on, or, I was with my daughter. You know what I mean? Which I'm not going to, no, I'm busy. You know what I mean? You don't need to know about my life
Not
yet.
not on the dating app. It's not that important.
No. Well, yeah, these are people that maybe I let in a little bit more than the dating app, right? But regardless, I wasn't gonna. I knew that I wasn't gonna cross that line, or I felt really confident that I wasn't that interested in these people. This girl, on the other hand, I felt extremely interested in right away, and was like super into, super pumped on. And then because there was like a step back, I was like, oh. And it kind of hurt for a second. I'm like, I fucked up, man. God damn it, I fucked it up. This girl, well-to-do, good job, good everything.
All right, so where does it stand now?
It stands now that I haven't texted her or talked to her in like 3 days.
She texted? She hasn't?
No.
Who texted last?
Me.
And
She
didn't
did.
answer.
Oh, she did. She did answer. But she wrote something that was like, so, like, once again, it went real back and forth, real personal, letting each other know who each other are, which you wouldn't do in a situation where you weren't interested in the person.
Right, correct.
I'm talking, essays worth of shit on both of our behalf.
Yeah. Nice conversation.
That eventually dwindled down to 4 or 5 words on her part, where I kind of felt like, okay, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, All
right, so here's what I think it is. I think that the conversation, text-wise, DMs and shit, has run its course. And I think now you take the bold move of saying, like, hey.
No. So here's I think that was part of the reason that she started giving me short responses. I said, well, let's get together. I'm not gonna thrive in this situation if we stay in this. I need to be around you and hang out with you. I was like, I don't care if it's a public setting with 100 people. I don't care if it's me and you getting a coffee. I don't care if you just need help with something. I was like, I'm into you. You know what I mean? I'm interested.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'll come change your light bulbs.
Right. You don't have any time to go stop and I'll make you a sandwich and bring it over. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Maybe I'll buy you a dinner and I'll make you a sandwich.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? The idea of just being like, I'm just trying to fit in here. You know what I mean? Let me just
trying to figure out how we make our lives mesh.
Yeah. And I think that she knew that, and I think that she was kind of thrown off by that because she told me, she's like, I'm not into dating anybody right now. And I'm like, listen, I'm not even trying to date you. I'm just trying to get to know you. I don't we don't have to go out. I don't got to show you. I don't got to pay for I don't got to nothing.
Right.
We just talk, we just hang out. Maybe you're going to a show. Let me know what show you're going to, or let me know whatever. I'll tell you I'm doing this over here.
Is she into the rap world?
I don't think so.
Okay.
She's into her own little world, and I don't really know her, right? So I don't know who she really is. She delved a lot of information to me about, where she comes from, what she is. So I have like a general idea, but I don't know her.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think we've passed each other like one time. So I don't know her at all, as far as interaction as a person.
All right, so you've asked her to hang out.
Yep.
And her kind of response was to not really give you any.
She didn't really give me a response. She just said that she wasn't into dating. And then later in that same conversation, I was just kind of feeling her out. I'm interested, right? So we were going back and forth. I didn't think that I gave her any red flags yet. I mean, I gave her red flags, but I didn't give her anything.
You are a giant red flag.
Yeah, okay, agreed.
But if she gets past that original giant red flag, that fucking flag of CCP, the Communist Party of China.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, if she sees that coming and still wants to look into the details, then you're good.
Yeah, I agree. But I think whether it was the dating conversation, because then after that, I was just asking her like little boy questions, like, what colors do you like?
What's your favorite color?
But I was interested, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and honestly, I'm sitting there with a girl that I think that I like, you know what I mean? The first girl that has brought my interest or lightened my eyes up at all or made me smile, that wasn't my fucking ex that ruined me.
Right.
And I feel good about it, and I'm interested, and I'm also trying to gain intel on a girl that I like. Yeah, I'm asking you what color you like, because in fucking 3 years, when you fucking love my dick, you know what I mean? I want to be able to get you the shoes you like.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I want to be able to put the flowers in your closet that you like.
I want to make sure that I know what color your bridesmaids' dresses are going to be, so I can match my cummerbund accordingly.
Right. I want to know now, without even meeting you face to face. I want to know now because it's going to mean so much more. Because I love you already. Oh, I'm so pathetic.
Well, I'm glad that you have a prospective wife on your hands.
Yeah, no, it's not. The perspective is blown. But what it taught me is that now I got over my ex, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not totally out of the woods, but it's clear. You know what I mean? I can see the end of the woods, at very least. I'm either stepping out of the woods or I can see 9 more trees I got to get through to be completely out of it.
So you're just letting this one fly to the wayside.
I think I'm letting her just be, if it's meant to be, will be type thing. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to leave it at that, right?
Oh, okay.
What, am I wrong?
No. I think that's fine.
Well, because I don't know. I also don't want to be a creep. I don't want to be extra. I don't want to bother her. She's a bitch about her BI. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I let you do what you got to do.
Do your thing. Maybe you touch base with her next week.
Yeah,
You know?
maybe. I don't even know. I tried to make she's a Pisces. I tried to make a fish joke. Nothing happened. You know what I mean?
Right
I
over
just
her head, maybe.
Nah, nothing happened, dude. Just like the fucking top of the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, whatever. We see what happens. I think that you're out here. You're in the field.
I'm fielding it. And I think maybe
Yeah.
you're right, because what if I would have jumped into something there because I'm feeling all good about this girl, and now in the last fucking 10 years of my life, I've only been with 3 women. You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if I'm hitting a stride.
Yeah. No. And I think whatever. It is what it is. You had one that, there was a little back and forth with.
That's what it was there for, though. It
Yeah,
could have literally just been there
exactly.
for me to jump
To
over that
loosen you
fire.
up.
Yep.
Yeah, to loosen you up.
And it
So
really
now-
did, dude. It worked wonders. The last, 3, 4, 5 days or whatever it's been since literally, not even the talking to her, but the fact that it was almost like a struggle. Like, I was like, should I text her again? Should I not text her? I'm going to text her a stupid fish joke.
Yeah.
And then it falls flat, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. What am I doing? But I do think that after that, I started to just feel better, and I was like, you know what? I'm done with crutches, man. The only way that I'm going to stand on my own too is relieving these crutches, and it's like I can cut down on the nicotine, I can cut down on this, I can do it. Who's telling me it's a big mistake?
Gavon.
What's a big mistake?
Probably the fact that you would get married to her.
Oh.
That you're going to marry her?
No,
I don't know.
I'm not saying I'm getting married to her. Obviously, it's all far-fetched things. It was just something that made me wake up a little bit, and that's really all it is. But it did really make me wake up, and now, like the other day, I wanted to smoke some weed. I wanted to. What are we doing here? Is this a monsoon? Is this
I'm redirecting you.
okay.
All right. We're going to do this. Can I do this? Hold on. And my enemy's close. You heard this one?
Nope. This your boy?
You know it.
Baltimore's finest?
Yeah. Oop. Oh, man, I keep doing that.
He's right, though. Oh, you gotta trust your bros, dude.
Watch this.
I done seen that you call us, they been plotting evil against us. Lord as my witness, they got ulterior motives. These fucking snakes trying to do me in, but I'm too small.
I love his accent.
It bothers me a little bit, his accent.
Yeah, it's a fucking Baltimore accent. It's disgusting.
It's almost like English. He sounds like he's doing grime music sometimes.
We ain't got nothing in common. Has he shown up on your...
No, I've been so on another thing lately. I don't even got music showing up on my YouTube anymore. Oh, this is cool how you're doing this.
You like that? I'm flexing
man.
my production muscle a little bit.
He's flexing his muscle as he said that, so that was good timing, dude.
We're one and the same, me and Minus Monroe.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I really feel like, I kind of feel like, I'm not going to lie to you, I feel like Menace Monroe is like kind of my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Like when I'm not looking at myself as a soft suburban 16-year-old, I'm looking at myself as a Menace Monroe.
I think that's fair. I think you're a little bit of both. I think you're the duality of Cove.
Fall somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere between suburbs or whatever. And Menace Monroe, who is the truest to do it.
Where am I at here? Oh, I wanted to fade it out.
Yeah, you flex that muscle, Cove.
I wanted to fade it down here.
Good job, man.
Are you looking back at the screen right
Are you
now?
Jamie? Yeah, it looks good, dude.
Young Pay Me.
You did good, man. You're Pay Me Jones right now, dude.
You know what I mean?
Live video interrupted.
You were getting too deep in there. It was nice. We discussed that for a while.
All right.
And I think we were just kind of talking in a circle after a little bit there.
All right, buddy. Fair enough.
So let me tell you about this thing that I remembered today.
Okay.
All right?
Remember things and tell me.
Yeah. So when I was approximately 22, 23. Well, no. I was older than that. I was closer to 25 at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Quarter century. I was a quarter century old.
Yep.
And I got pinched on a VOP. We're frozen here. Are we really frozen, or is that just a lag in the stream? I think it's just a lag in the stream, which means I got to do this. Close that out. Get this back here. I'm trying to have a discussion and run the boards at the same time.
You're doing a lot.
Payday's a talented man for doing this every week.
Yeah. He's also, he's been through it. He does it. You know what I mean? He does it.
Yeah. I'm learning on the. I'm running on. I'm working on the fly.
We threw to the Sharks.
Yeah. Next GBMC will be
out of control. Good.
Better than the last.
Yeah. Every time.
I'm gonna learn how to do the little banners across the bottom for the next GBMC.
And you're unstoppable.
I'm not necessarily against doing GBMC every Monday and the gig every Friday.
Well, I'm not against it.
Yeah, I think GBMC is kind of popping. At least this evening it was. The live has died down a little bit. Who's in a live? Let me get a live check. Who's here?
Live check.
Live check. But it's been jumping, mostly the whole way through. We'll talk about this
As opposed to the last Monday we did, I think we're doing good this time.
Yeah, last Monday was really dead.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
I always got my haters that follow me and make sure that nobody else wants to see me. So always know that when you bring me in places.
That there's going to be
people that just will deliberately not watch it because they hate my guts for whatever reason.
Or they watch it to not watch it.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Like they watch it to hope that nobody else is watching it. To be like, oh, yeah, see, that's right. There's only one person watching.
Yeah, that's right, bitch.
It's only me watching you now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when like 7 or 10 people hop in the live, then they're like, man, fuck this guy. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I can't give him no view.
You sound like the baby watching Lil Nas X blow up right now.
Yeah, I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
So I'm like 25 years old, and I get pinched on a VOP.
Okay.
A violation of probation.
Understood.
And I was on drug court at the time. So instead of doing like real time, they send me to a program. This program is called Trenton Rescue Mission.
Okay.
Now, Trenton Rescue Mission is a multifaceted building. There's like there's the wing that has guys like me who are there on like violations or light charges, or guys who are just did 10 years in the joint and now they're transitioning to coming home, or like they just came off the streets or out of county because they're locked up and they got to do 6 months here instead of going to jail, whatever. Like that kind of thing going on. The other side of the building is a homeless shelter and soup kitchen.
Right.
Right? Now, the guys from the state side, that they call it, right, the halfway house side, are the guys who work the homeless shelter and the soup kitchen.
Okay.
So, like, we would go and clean up after all these homeless women who are filthy.
Right.
And the whole homeless woman's shelter side, like, stunk terribly. And we had to go in there every morning after they all left for the day and, like, clean everything up and wipe it down and Lysol everything and
Beautiful.
shit like that.
Awesome.
And then there was, like, other guys who worked the soup kitchen. So at, like, lunch and dinner time, they're over there serving the homeless kids, homeless dudes, all the junksters from Trenton who came to eat there.
Right.
The third side is a thrift shop, right? They had furniture and clothes and, oh, baby mom's in the building. Hi, babe. Love you. I'll see you soon. I'll see you downstairs in a moment.
Go on. Thrift shop.
I got to tell you, she is one of my biggest fans as far as the gig goes. She watches it every week.
That's beautiful.
Some of it, I think, is because she likes listening to what I got to say. And some of it is to make sure I'm not saying anything too off the wall that she has to smack me upside my head for. But either which way, she's watching.
I do like how you said the second thing, which was obviously the real reason.
No, she's a podcast listener. So the fact that now she's married to a podcast host, I think gets her a little bit hot under the collar.
Yeah. So when you put that cologne before bedtime,
it's for a reason.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean? A little extra spritz below the belt.
You know what I'm saying?
So there was the thrift shop side, and they would have like that. This was like a full thrift shop, right? They had trucks that would go out and pick up people's junk, and then they would bring it back to the loading dock. Right, there would be a driver and then like one of the inmate bulls, and they would go out and pick up people's shit. they would bring it back to the dock where the dock workers, which I was at one point, would unload the trucks, sort it, and send it to the section of the thrift shop that it had to go to.
Right.
The thrift shop was 6 stories tall, and the bottom part was the store, and the other 4 stories were like just junk fucking storage. Yeah. Their biggest moneymaker was furniture, from what I could tell, right? And we would go through shit as the dock workers and, like, pick out stuff that we wanted, whatever it might be. Like, we might get a radio or a pair of sneaks or, you know, a basketball or some weights, you know, whatever the fuck it is that we could use or somehow hustle back to the other dudes at the halfway house,
Gotcha.
on the halfway house side.
Right.
Now, none of this work that we're doing are we getting paid for.
Right.
They paid us like a measly $10 a week, right? So after I'm here for a while, whatever, we could get back into more of what happened there. But this is what the thing that I thought about. And the lady who ran it, her name was Mary Gay. Mary Gay something. I don't remember, right? And her son was like her little henchman.
Okay.
This lady was a little fucking gargoyle of a woman, which I think she might have been a taco muncher.
Okay.
Which, fine. But
Great.
it just adds to the anger that she had towards men, right?
Yes.
She hated all of us. Which was fine because we weren't very fond of her either.
Right.
But she came through like the little gay wicked witch of East Trenton, right? The wicked witch of East Trenton would just come through, storming the building, just yelling at guys as she would like walk through and be like, "What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What are you doing with those? You're not supposed to do this," right? And just come through like a bat out of hell and then leave and collect her check off the top,
Whipping
whatever
her
that
dick
was.
Around.
Yeah, swinging her dick. Saying, letting us know that she's got the biggest dick in the building.
Yeah, she did.
Which she did, because she could send any of us back to jail or prison at any given time.
Yeah, that's a huge dick.
So, I came home, and years later, I have never in my life, until I was about 30, applied for unemployment. At 30, I got laid off. I really got fired, but they couldn't fire me for the reason they wanted to, so they said I was laid off.
Right.
Which meant I could still collect unemployment.
Correct.
Sadie was just born, so I was like, fuck it. I'm going to collect unemployment for 6 months and hang out with my newborn baby.
Right.
And Steph was working, so I played, daddy daycare. And it was great. And I'm glad that I'm super happy that we had that 6 months when she was like a baby to hang out.
Yeah.
We would go to the park, me, her, and the dog every day, and like, I was living a dream for a little bit.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was nice. But when I went to go apply for unemployment, they're like, hey, what about something about the last claim that you had in when we were paying you last time or whatever it was. And I'm like, yo, I never had another claim in. They're like, no, you had another address and this, that, and the third. And it took me a while because I couldn't figure out. I'm like, I don't know what address you had me under. And I'm giving them the addresses I live at. 108 Evergreen? Was it 7 Cavison? Was it this? Was it that?
Right.
They're like, no, it's none of those. I guess because, like, whatever, they couldn't release what the address was. I had to tell them. So somehow I figure out what the address is, and they're like, yeah, you had a claim that you were getting paid on when you were at 98 Carroll Street in Trenton. So somehow I signed some type of paperwork that allowed the Trenton Rescue Mission to collect my unemployment, which I saw not a dime. Well, I did see maybe like $10 a month from it, but they collected my whole fucking check and did God knows what with it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Crooked as fuck, bro.
Wow.
And so I'm sure that there's probably like a lawsuit there, but I also don't really give a fuck to deal with it. Like,
What, they probably assumed that when they did it.
yeah, but I also would love to shut them down.
Let's shut them down.
I would love to just, like, raise such a fucking ruckus over there for Mary Gay and Barrett that they had no choice. Like, they just had so many inspectors there picking shit apart that they would just have no choice but to shut it down. Because the reality of it is they're doing shit way ass backwards. There's no real benefit to guys being there. It's people warehousing. It's human storage is what they're doing, and they're eating off the top by having their little thrift shop where they're selling junk and using guys that they don't have to pay to do it. The whole system is, the whole shit is rigged as one big profit for them.
Right.
And the guys who...
And it comes across as charity. It almost comes across as
if
a
you
good
don't know,
thing.
right, if you don't know and you're not inside of this system that they have rigged up, it does look like they're a charitable organization. Like, oh, they're giving discount furniture at a thrift shop and they're helping people of West Trenton and this, that, and the third. And in reality, they're pilfering prisoners out of the system so that they can get that paper. Like, they would make guys sign up for welfare, and then guys would not see any of their welfare. There was a point where, like, you could get to a spot where you could go out and find a job, right? However, if you get a job, you have to get it was some ridiculous number. It was 50% or more than 50% of your paycheck had to go to them to pay for your housing there, right?
Wow.
Which your housing is like,
It's nothing.
what the fuck you mean, my housing?
Yeah, the
You know what I'm
bed
saying?
you share in a room with 8 other guys?
Yeah,
Is that
you
the
want
housing?
fucking. So if I find a great job, I'm making a G a week. Now I'm paying you $500 a week to sleep in a single bed with another dude who's a fucking prisoner. The shit is fucking ludicrous.
Yeah. And that's how it is anyway. So on top of, you know what I mean? That's how everyone's dealing with that when they go into a place like that. You know what I mean? Paying $500 a week to share a bed or share a room with 3 or 4 other guys. You know what I mean? So
Nobody's paying $500 a week.
No, not a week. No.
Yeah,
No, you're right.
A month.
I got you.
So it was just this fucking sick, situation that we were in.
I wish we knew her last name because I'd like to say it right now.
I bet you we could fucking find it. Let me see. And they listen. And in reality, guys were not doing good for themselves in there. Like, it was nicer than being in prison because you could wear your clothes, you could get a little bit of fresh air.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where you can you could go out and find a job and shit like that, but also
Yeah, if you had the money that you were supposed to be getting, you would have
you
had
would
a
come out
step.
you'd come out with enough money to fucking have a house.
Right.
You know? Let's see.
Yeah, which should have been the plan.
Well, their front page. Hold on, let's do this. Oh, let's do this.
You got to throw it up for the people?
Yeah.
I think it's a good call.
All right, so their front page is a bunch of let me do this. Let me get my shit straight here, dog.
Straighten your shit out.
I wish I could quickly put this here. I don't know how to do this. Can I do this? Video capture 1? Put that there? Nah, it's not going to work. All right, let me just fade over, and I'll do full screen, right? So their page appears to be just kind of like a bunch of wild-looking folks who, you know, came fresh off the streets. Programs and services, volunteer. You have all the volunteers you fuckers need.
Yeah.
You know, this guy looks like he came out the joint probably. You know, he volunteered for you. How to volunteer. Contact Nikki Graham, manager. I don't know who Nikki Graham is.
Well, maybe she took over. Maybe they're doing things right now.
In addition to helping serve food, and if you have any expertise in any of these areas, we would love to hear from you. Health and wellness, marketing, exercise, publicity, meditation, community outreach, smoking cessation, and so on and so forth. And I don't remember any of these being a thing that
They actually offered.
was around there. Yeah, we would have like an NA meeting once or twice a week. Programs and services. The mission is here. Yeah, these were the kind of ladies that we were cleaning up after. You know?
Yeah.
Behavioral health, the shelter, vocational development, supportive housing, and a thrift store.
Yeah.
The shelter is what the shelter is, right? Obviously. Behavioral health. I mean, whatever. You see what it is.
Yeah. But it looks like, it looks real legit. I mean, maybe they changed it up. You think there was a possibility? No way.
No.
Well, where's Mary Gay at, dude?
Well, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, there it is. Mary Gay Abbott Young, President, The Mission. Look
Okay.
into the eyes of someone who is struggling.
Ugh.
See their pain, and I also ask that you see their potential, ... to be a dollar sign that fills my bank account.
I could take advantage of these poor people and make myself out to be a charitable, kind human being.
Yeah, Mary Gay Abbott Young and fucking Barrett Young. And Barrett was a cool dude, you know, like solid, pretty solid, like cool, seemed to be a thorough white dude. His hustle was just kind of grimy.
Yeah.
You know? I had something else in the midst of this, and then I started looking. Oh, there was one shining light in the midst of this whole situation. Let me get back to my thing over here. Where's my fucking mouse at? There it is. There was one shining light in the midst of my whole situation while we were there. Tess, get out of here.
She's good.
Ah, but she's annoying you.
Nah, she's good, girl.
And that was a wonderful woman by the name of Ida B. Malloy. And Ida B. Malloy was a lady who worked the education department, right?
Okay.
Which they had an education department, and you could get your GED.
Right.
There wasn't. That was their most probably thriving department, was that she had, would help guys get on top of their shit with their GED.
Yeah, it's huge.
And she was like one of the most phenomenal people that I've ever met in my journey through the system. Like, she played a role for guys, like she played a very motherly role for guys who had no real figure there, right? You didn't have your motherly figure when you're locked up, especially for the younger guys who are, in their early 20s, who are just kind of leaving home anyway or whatever. And still at 23, if you were on the right path, you'd be going back to your mom's house for dinner every few nights and help, getting that assistance and that love and care if your mom does that,
Right.
And Ida B. Malloy was, this phenomenal figure. But I'll tell you the thing that Ida B. did for me that trumped all other things, right, is that at one point I had finagled a contraband iPod, because back then there was iPods.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, it was a thing that people used. I got an iPod. I wasn't supposed to have it, and somehow Ida found out, and what she did for me was she took it to her daughter, and her daughter filled it up with music, but also filled it up with podcasts.
Okay.
Real Late from Rosenberg, which is actually a radio show, but he put it out in the same way you would put out a podcast after it was on live. And the Hood Hype Show, which was a bunch of guys from Detroit who did a hip-hop podcast, weekly or whatever. And I'm actually now friendly with J-Mac, who was one of the hosts of Hood Hype at that time. Wow. Like, I'll talk to him online and shit like that, and he's told me if I need anything, hit him up, and he'll help me out with whatever it is I'm looking to do. But those were the first podcasts that I listened to, and at that point I was like, oh, like a thing clicked in my head where it was like, oh, I'm supposed to do this. Right? Like, right. This is the thing that I want to fucking do. I think I was probably rapping, and that was what it was, but I always also was like, part of my rap career was me going, I'm not really into this fucking rap thing.
Right.
Like, I rap, I sing songs, but this is not what I do. But I had the podcast thing, and that was kind of major for me to, like, stumble across that 10 years ago and say, like, that's what I want to do. Like, right. This is the guy. Those are the kind of guys I want to be. That's the kind of thing I want to do. And so for the past 10 years, I've been trying to get there. I've shared this story on the gig plenty of times. I've been trying to kind of get to that spot, and now I finally have the means and the time and the commerce.
Yeah.
And the spot.
Right.
And the responsibility to make it all happen. And that's why now it looks like I'm hopping in the podcast boom, because podcasts are booming. But don't fucking judge me, because I had this dream for years.
Yeah. We're not judging you.
All right.
We know who you are, and we know that you're thorough, and we know
thorough,
that you're official.
With the L.
With the L.
With the
2
L
R's
for
and an
show.
L, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of thorough, I've been trying to get this song from Slaughter Rico that I did with Peter Crack called Thorough Bulls, and he just won't send it to me. So I've been waiting for that for
he might not have it.
Like 2 years. I think he has it.
He might. He might not.
He's probably sent it to somebody else.
He might. Where did he record it at? Do you know?
I don't know, but he played it to me outside of some show at Voltage. It might have even been like the Rich Quick Memorial Show or something like that. But he played it out front. It actually might have been way prior to that. But I was just like, I remember sitting there with Miles, and I remember just being like blown away. Like, this is the greatest song ever. And I've been bothering for it for 2 years. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm about to send it to you.
Never
You know what I mean? I think he's just trying to build the anticipation.
On that same note, I've been looking for journalists, City of Brotherly Thug, for probably about 12 to 15 years now. and I can't find it anywhere. So if you're listening and you know where to find Journalist, City of Brotherly Thug,
That can't be something that's that hard to find.
bro, it was like a Cosmic Kev banger, but it wasn't on an album. It was on like a Journ mixtape.
Ugh.
I had 2 joints on a Journ mixtape that I loved. One was a freestyle over like a Big L beat.
Right.
Where he was like something about, when you're going to work, she's chewing side to side like it's corn on the cob, right? And it was a phenomenal, one of the greatest freestyles I ever heard. And City of Brotherly Thug. 50% of my rap style was taken from Journalist.
Yeah.
That's like who I wanted to rhyme like because he was such a craftsman with
Crazy pen, dude.
Yeah. Craftsman.
Yeah,
For real craftsman.
He was one of them dudes. He was one of like the first dudes that I was listening to that I felt smarter for listening to. He's like one of those first rappers that I was like, oh, this is like a real rapper that's rapping. You know what I mean?
Like
Not
a real
just
smart bull. Like
Yeah.
talented dude, not just like a thug with a story to
And
tell.
a lot of people that I hung out with listen to Journalists like he was, top tier MC. Not saying he wasn't, but putting him up in that realm with the greats. You know what I mean? Because he's.
I think he had the
great.
skill. I think skill wise, he could definitely, like he's up there skill wise with Big L, right? I kind of look at like if I look at Journ and look at Big L, like this is not really a good way to put it, but it's the way that jumps into my head is that like Journ was kind of more comical, whereas Big L was a little darker, but they had kind of a similar style of formatting their rhymes.
Yeah, see, in my experience with Journalists is he said he had a lot. He reminds me more of like Nas in my head than like Big L because it just seemed like he had stories and he had shit. He just had shit with him. To me, I don't know.
I guess it depends on what you were listening to.
Yeah,
like if you're listening to the Scribes of Life album,
yeah.
that you might look at him one way, whereas like I was getting all his mixtape shit before I ever heard Scribes of Life,
right?
And I kind of looked at him as like a mixtape bull, but like a phenomenal mixtape bull.
I definitely knew who he was from his albums after he was a little bit more established, and then heard the other stuff and that was kind of like. To me, that wasn't the forefront of what I knew Journalist to be. You know what I mean? I knew him for the albums.
Well, I was like, that's what that was my life at the time was like I want the mixtapes.
Yeah. Well, everyone at the time that was everything.
That was what was hot.
That was everything you
The
wanted.
album mattered less than the mixtapes, and while we were running the streets in North Philly, we would find mixtapes along with our Xannies and jars of wet. So
I like Rex. Rex kind of reminds me of that. You like Rex at all?
You feel like Rex reminds you of Journalist?
A little bit, yeah.
I guess I could see it a little bit of similarity, but like I say, like Rex again, not as dark as Big L, but not as light as Journalist.
Yeah,
Journalist was kind of like he had some comedy in there and like I don't know, but I also don't remember his whole catalog because it's been so long and I've lost any fucking connection to all those joints that I had. I once owned.
Do you think you could find it on like Dat Piff? Is Dat Piff still a thing?
I doubt it, dude. I doubt there's a Journalist joint on that Piff.
Maybe. I mean, if Dat Piff never deleted their inventory.
But it was even before Dat Piff.
No, but I'm saying like when Dat Piff starts when Dat Piff becomes a website, don't they then upload because you can find shit on Dat Piff. I mean, I haven't been on Dat Piff in
I'm there right now.
10 years probably. But I remember finding shit like old shit on there that was like pre-uploaded from a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I got shit on Dat Piff.
I think I'm on that Piff.
I used to be on that Piff, dude. That was 4 days ago, dude. Now I'm straight edge.
All right, well, there's fucking there's what looks to be maybe 4 tapes with Journalists on it. One's a Rain Man joint. One's called Respected DJ Part 4. One's called Weed Out, Stash House Volume 1.
Okay.
Petey's on that, though, so this is probably some official Journalist shit. Where's my... See, the problem with having 2 monitors now is that I lose the mouse. Classes in Session Freestyle. Now, I know that one.
But we're finding Journalist mixtape stuff, which is really... This is why we're here. This is what we came here to do.
This is why we're here. Chrome has blocked the start of the playback.
Fuck you, Chrome.
Oh, that's whack. Well, the Classes in Session is there. Do they have any other journalist joints on there? Let's see. Tone Trump, Bump Johnson. Remember Bump Johnson was like a guy?
The name sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you anything.
Me neither. Me neither.
Bump
All right,
Johnson.
so they got one journalist joint on here. Is there any other ones? Brand new freestyle featuring journalist. Come on, man, play a joint for me.
I mean, maybe not in Chrome, maybe later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to come back to this later, but
at
I'll.
least you'll be able to experience some journalist freestyle mixtape shit.
Yeah. So we've been going for approximately 100 minutes.
That's not bad.
No, I mean we're talkers.
We could talk.
And once you start going, I just get out the way because it's like
I get out the way when you talk.
It's like
too.
a fucking killdozer
I'm
coming
sorry,
at you.
man.
You
I'm
know
on
what
the
I mean?
big camera today. I don't know how to act. I'm in your chair, dude.
You're the boss, bro.
Yeah,
You're on the big camera. I'm
Your
just
payday.
here.
You better be over there getting real.
I'm just
payday.
here to run the boards,
I
Daddy.
hear you, dude. You're doing a lot, man. You're doing more than most.
No, but you got your therapy session in now.
Yeah, I did. I'm not even close, but I got some shit off my chest, which is good.
I think next week we have you come back. We'll set all this up downstairs so you can lay on the couch with the mic just like right at your face.
That's not a bad idea.
A big black mic hanging down, looming over you, and you could just kind of gargle up what you will at it.
Speak it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll sit on the other couch with my legs crossed, tapping my fingers on my knee like this, and really like I'm just gonna kind of do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so how did you feel?
Right. Maybe we'll really get somewhere. Again, this satirical thing that we're talking about doing, maybe we'll really cross some bounds.
Well, I think that in all reality, we got a little bit of somewhere tonight.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about if we're doing GBMC, right? And it's your therapeutic session.
Right.
The situation is not that we're trying to get to like the root of your issues. We're dealing therapeutically with what's in front of you,
right,
and how to attack it, or just bringing it to light and getting another input of what you dealt with over the past week or whatever it has been.
Right.
And then, speaking things into fruition or speaking about the things that happened is like you work through them and you figure out your direction. We're just trying to keep you on the path you're on at this point. Like, I know that you sometimes get down on yourself where you're like not feeling like you're doing as great as you're doing.
Right.
And then sometimes you do see that you're doing as great as you're
doing.
doing.
I think it's good to cross, because if you think you're doing great all the time, you're never going to do great.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to check yourself, and you're supposed to keep a little bit of a foot on your own neck.
Yeah.
So that you can keep growing.
Don't want to be complacent.
I'm always going to be here to cheerlead for you.
Appreciate it.
Unless you're being a jerk off, and then
put me in my place.
I'm going to let you know.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
Put me on my place on the couch.
Why don't you
microphone?
Why don't you make up an outro?
Jesus. So you usually would just what would you usually do here?
Well, what I would do is say, so thanks. If you made it this far, we appreciate that you listened. And this is GBMC. I keep wanting to mix up the B and the M.
Right?
Yeah. This is GBMC.
Yep.
Also on Friday night, if you enjoyed this,
you might enjoy
the Gig Live, which is streamed almost everywhere that you could get something. We're on Facebook. YouTube channel is the Gig Podcast channel. Twitch, we're the Gig Podcast. You can listen to previous episodes in audio only anywhere that you get the audio.
You're a real podcaster.
I don't think that we're going to have audio for this GBMC.
It's all right, man.
But we will be on YouTube. You can catch the playback on YouTube. You can catch the playback on Facebook. We're probably also on Twitch. And it's going to be on the Gig Podcast channel. You can find me, Cove, at paydayjones.com.
Okay.
If you need some construction done,
right,
hit me up.
Hit
7-1 Construction.
Right. If you need some life coaching done, 7-1, right?
I mean, listen, if you want to pay for life coaching, I take very select clients. You know what I mean? I'm pretty picky about the clients that I take.
What I'm saying is you have a lot of things on the back of your shirt that you do that you could be hired for with your services.
Yeah, give me your money and I'll figure out what you need done.
Yeah.
And I'll get it done. Just give me the money first. I'll solve the thing.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be.
I don't know how you wanted me to do the outro. You know what I mean?
I'm
Because
just
you
talking
have
shit.
all these.
Yeah.
You have all the information. I don't have the information that you need to present. You
I
know?
mean, I don't need to present any of it, really.
You
I
do,
could
though.
have just said, hey, peace.
You could have.
And if you just came on here and you were like, I'm Biz Mighty, suck my dick.
Yeah, and that was it. And
that's how you wanted to do the outro?
Yeah.
I mean, we could have did that too.
Right.
There will be audio. This just in. Word has just come in.
Oh, my goodness.
That there will be an audio-only version of GBMC coming to you soon everywhere that you listen to podcasts.
We're not doing anything half-assed. This isn't the Underground Railroad of podcasts. We are still doing this.
Yeah.
We're out there in the open.
We're out there. And next week, we're going to do it again, right? Are we going to do it again?
I'm down.
We're going to do it again. Come see us Friday. Come hang out here next Monday.
We're the bookends of the week. You're the bookends of the week.
That's it. The bookends. 2 G's with a week in the middle.
Yeah, man. That's all it is, dude. Listen, that's all you really need.
2 G's with a week in the middle. Who
But
knows? Maybe
not
next week.
Not weak, though. Strong. You know what I'm saying?
A strong in the middle. 2 G's with a strong in the middle.
Nah, I don't know. I like yours better, I think.
2
I just didn't
Gs.
want anyone to think it was weak. You know what I mean? Because it's heavy out here. It's
Listen,
strong
Daddy,
out
ain't
here.
nothing
It's
weak
hard.
about
That's
me.
what I'm talking about.
I'm 195 pounds of cold blue steel.
208 right now, dude.
You're going to be fucking skinnier than me soon.
I hope so, man. I just want abs, dude. And a V that goes down. You can see where my legs are. My legs differentiate. Did I tell you about my hernia that I didn't know I had?
No.
I lost the weight and hernia.
But since we already did the outro, let's get back into it.
Well, no, I thought we were ending on my outro, dude.
All right, so your outro is you discussing your hernia?
Yeah.
Solid outro. Go for it.
Slow fade on the hernia. Nah, I lost enough weight, and my dick is bigger, too. Oh, I wanted to talk about something, dude. I wanted to talk about something
All
that
right,
I
let me
did.
ask you this.
Go ahead.
How bad do you want to talk about it?
I want to talk about it pretty bad because I did something weird last night.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to close this out.
Okay.
I'm going to stop it. We're going to start a new one that's going to be just that topic.
Oh, no, because then people are going to be able to find it. It's embarrassing.
Oh, so you want to do it on the end of this one?
Yeah, I'd rather
so
do
it's buried, so only the real troopers can find it. All right, what do you want to talk about?
All right, so the other night I fucking jerked off on camera with a girl that has a boyfriend. She was playing with herself, and I was playing with myself on camera last night to completion. I've never done anything quite like that before in my entire life.
All right, so
How you feel about it? So, because in my head, I wasn't gonna jerk off.
like, so what are you asking me? Do you fall into nerd category?
No,
for
I don't
this?
think I do because it was hot. You know what I mean? And this chick has been wanting me to like hang out with her for a minute, right? And I'm not gonna do it because she has a man, and I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So we did the FaceTime thing.
Well, first off, you're wrong.
Okay.
Because if you're gonna not hang out with her because she has a man, you also should not jerk off on camera for her and watch her play with her Snapdragon. Because she has a man.
She was doing a lot, dude. She's been very open, you know what I mean, about things. And I was not. My intent was not to pick up the fucking FaceTime and to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it started out just being a normal conversation. She's a very attractive girl. I've always been a little bit interested in her.
Do I know her?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. Yeah, so that happened. So I've never done
All right, let me ask you
anything
this.
like that.
Is she friends with you on Facebook?
Yes,
Is her man friends with you on Facebook?
he might be.
Now he knows.
Yeah, he might know.
All right, so how did this come about?
No, I just
Like,
been,
how did you go from, hey, what's going
Dude,
on? I haven't
there's-
talked to you in a
there's
while.
a-
And how did you go from teaching her about keto?
No,
to pulling
it
out
wasn't
your
that.
brajol
It wasn't
on
that.
abroad?
No, okay, so hold on.
You're
So,
like, oh, it's a meat-only diet.
here's the thing.
Let
She's
me
not,
show you a little meat.
She's not the only girl with a man in my phone right now on my top. There's
Yeah.
other ones that are I don't know if they're necessarily on my top, but they give me that lane. So I could be talking about a few different people right now, in all honesty, because
Right.
there's a few of these that have men that are saying things to me that if I was their man, I'd be a little bit like,
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going downstairs to check my wife's phone.
it's definitely, come on, man. I never crossed the bound. I have no respect for this man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But he
no,
is,
obviously.
okay.
Yeah, we see that.
But yeah, so she FaceTimed me on Instagram and and my Instagram's been shut down. So I didn't even know my Instagram wasn't even working, but I could still get into my messages because I called some lady a pig yesterday because she called out my music or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought what I did was, yeah, they shut me down for that. I also then screenshotted it and sent it to her. So I think that's why, because you know how they say now, you post something ignorant on Instagram, it says, "Are you sure, dude? Because this could backfire on you."
Right.
And that's
I
good.
don't really post too much ignorant, so I didn't know that they do that.
They do that. So they give you
I try and shed light.
They give you like a full 15 seconds to not do it. And I've been on the same path, but this. So the post was that I said, not to get off subject, that we've already done after the outro. The post that I did off, it was a post that was like fat people and ugly people, and it was a
Need love too.
It was a pro
fatty.
fat people.
Yeah,
it was a this ugly bitch.
Love that shit.
This ugly bitch really got a lot of nerve coming at fat people. And my home response was, you know, sometimes it's okay to give a little bit of shame to unhealthy people to maybe trigger them to
coming
get healthy.
from your experience.
Right. For me, you know, the ugly person's just ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Poor kid.
But it's not something that she's doing to herself over and over again with Entenmann's cakes.
Right.
So my whole thing was just this. And then some fat broad came in and was offended by what I said.
Fat broads
And
are easily offended.
She said something about my music because she, you know, she was mad at me. So she looked me up. And my shit's private, so she had to go onto my page, see my little bio, click on it, and then listen to Dumb Ugly music, and then be like, "Oh, you're the worst."
She's
right?
that one person who's watching to make sure nobody else is.
Yeah, she's the one.
Yeah.
And all I said back to her was like, "Yeah, it's nice to express yourself and have something to make you feel like you're expressing yourself." My initial reaction was like, "This fucking asshole," you know what I mean? But my thing was, I wrote like a nice little thing, and at the end of it, I wrote, "You pig." And then I said, and then I screenshotted it because I thought it was going to get pulled right away and sent it to her. And
all right, so how does this tie into you jerking off on camera for
because
other dude's wife?
My bad. So maybe I'm trying to avoid it a little bit. I didn't think my Instagram worked, right? So I couldn't get on my Instagram.
Right.
But then I got this FaceTime call. And then I answered it.
Yeah.
And it started real normal. I had it on the table, just sitting on my candle. You know what I mean? And I was just talking like a regular person. Now, she's attractive, and she was sitting there wearing something looking real attractive.
Snackish.
Real snackish, dude. Like on purpose. You know
real
what I mean?
Real snackly.
And
looking like a whole bag of kettle corn.
And she started like, so the same kind of thing she was doing before. It's so funny, man, because there's literally like 3 of these right now.
Yeah.
Of these girls that shouldn't be so open with me. You know what I mean? Because they belong to someone else. As fucking old school as that might sound. It makes me feel a certain kind of way, but at the same time, these women are attractive and they're into me. So me, with my limited experience, I don't know how to act in these situations. And when someone's invited,
so when you don't know how to act,
I jerk off on camera.
I pull my dick out.
All right, so but it started. I mean, she very, very, sexual and front and forward the whole conversation that we were having, and then it led to her just kind of opening up and showing me stuff. And then when she started showing me stuff, I started, becoming a man and feeling like I want to come to your house right now and fucking put my penis in your vagina.
Right.
And because of that, once she started fingering herself on camera. You know what I mean?
Did you ever think to tell her to just come to your crib?
No, because no one wants to come to my crib, dude.
Okay. Why don't you make your crib comeable?
Well, okay. Listen, my crib
I
is
mean,
very
your crib
comeable.
is comeable.
Last night I came all over my crib. No, I need to get out of that apartment just in general. It's like it's falling to shit because I hate it there. You're right. But there's way too much work to be done in this shithole apartment for me to give a fuck about right now. I need to just get out of there, and then girls can come over. I don't want this girl to come over. That's the extent of what we're going to do is what we've already done. But I didn't feel bad about it. I blew a crazy wad, you know what I mean? Because I'm not a dweeb, right? So it's all backed up. The essence is flowing.
Right.
So I'm ready. And plus the
PEDs.
And plus the Filbert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It got me going.
Yeah,
so I'm ready for all this stuff. And then she's hot as fuck, dude. So like she's sitting on her couch and her little snapper comes out and she's playing with herself and then you know what I mean, and I'm just sitting there looking like a goofus.
You had to do something.
I had to do something. I had to
partake. You had to make a move.
Dude, my dick, it was.
I was just sitting there looking.
I didn't go over her
and
house.
I felt like I was being there and I was just watching. I had to get involved.
Don't you feel like you have to get involved?
No, that's the thing, dude. I respect. Not with this situation, obviously. I'm a married man. I would never get involved in something like that. But in general, in situations in life, when something's happening, I tend to want to get involved.
Right.
Right? And so I understand your urge to hop in the mix and get involved.
Yeah, well, I got involved, and then I don't know how I feel about it. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because I just didn't know how I felt about it. I felt like I did the most I can do is what I did last night. The most I can ever do until she breaks it off with this dude, is what I did. And I know that that's crossing the line, and I probably did too much, but I didn't initiate the shit.
She doesn't seem like a piece of shit to you?
No, because, yeah. All right, a little bit, right? And I'm free. I'm not. In my conscience, I didn't really fuck up. You know what I mean?
No, you didn't fuck up.
But I've never been on the side. I've never cheated on anyone I've ever been with, and I've never been the part of a reason that anybody's ever cheated. And honestly,
she definitely cheated.
Yeah,
without
but
a doubt.
also in my head now I'm kind of on the side of cheating, right? Like now I'm kind of in that thing. Like I didn't insert myself into her. There's none of my essence on her couch. You know what I mean? But there's essence on my couch. You know what I mean? From her, that was very initiated by her. So yeah, I just didn't know.
You're a part of that world now.
I felt really weird about it.
But in reality, listen. Here's the reality, right? It's not right, and you got to decide what karma means to you.
Yeah.
And whether you feel like this is karmically wrong or it's not, but you're not. I don't think you're wrong in the situation. You're a single dude, and you can be out here. You're allowed to be a part of the cheating world.
Yeah,
you know
I'm allowed to be.
You can karmically, if you decide karmically that that's okay for you, then that's okay.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's it, and I think I did decide that it was okay, and I think that I'm okay because of how much she so much that she's said to me and all this stuff that I felt like it was like I don't think this shit's gonna last anyway. You know what I mean, in my head. So maybe I'm just adding the fuel to the fire. I don't know. I don't think anyone's gonna find out. You know what I mean, unless they listen.
I mean, unless they listen to all 3 hours of this and then can figure out who it was. Now, I mean, listen, there might be a few guys over the next week now going through their girlfriend's Instagram.
Good, and they should probably.
To
you know
see
what I mean?
if they're fucking talking to Shed Jam Heartthrob Biz Mighty.
Get insecure about me because I'm in your bitch's DM. That's another thing, too. Hold on, before we go. I was working on meditation. I'm researching Stoicism. I'm looking into Nietzsche and the way that he, talks about life and kind of like getting rid of a little bit of that outside of the mortal realm type shit, but also keeping it real life experience and real like grounded shit. And I was doing really good and all this stuff. And then I called this lady a fucking pig, right?
Yeah.
And that was below me, a lower vibrational frequency biz. And then I fucking am, girls calling me daddy and calling me a good boy. You know what I mean? I don't know. But, I don't know how I feel about it. I just feel like I kind of crossed the line. And I'm interested, and it was nice to do that with a person that I'm attracted to. That's into me, and I felt like I didn't do. If you're gonna watch, it's like porn. It's like porn, but you know the guy or girl. You know what I mean? She knows me. I know her. We've been in the same situation before.
Does she have an OnlyFans?
No.
Okay.
But I could, if I wanted to. You know what I mean? And she can subscribe to it. Is that cheating? No, it's wrong. Is it cheating for someone that subscribed to an OnlyFans? It kind of is, right?
I don't think so.
What about just general interest? I went to school with a girl, not this one in particular, but I'm saying if I went to school with some girl and I was interested in what her snapper looked like and I just wanted to check out what her snapper looked like. That's not what I do wrong. I just wanted to see.
You don't do it. You're not doing anything wrong.
If I was in a relationship. If I was in a relationship and I was just like, I knew this girl from 7th grade to 12th grade and now her snapper's all over the internet and I want to see what she's doing naked. If I just went to go see it, am I wrong for that?
Nah, I don't think you're particularly wrong. It's a gray area. I don't think you're particularly wrong. I don't think that your girlfriend would particularly like it.
Of course not.
So then it comes down to, how much do you respect your girl? Do you respect her enough to just say like, I'd like to see it, but really it doesn't matter.
Off, dude. It's porn.
I'm not telling you that you're wrong in this situation.
Okay, but is she's wrong?
She's definitely
100%
wrong.
Sure.
She's for sure.
Wrong.
She's out of pocket. But
nothing happened though. She's invited me to her house numerous times, and I've always been like,
are you sticking up for her? Do you want her to not be wrong? You want her to not be wrong, so she'll continue to have a private OnlyFans show with you on Instagram. Is what's going on. But the reality is that she's wrong. But that doesn't mean that she won't. The fact that she's wrong might be making her want to fucking have these private shows for you time and time again. She's
I'll-
being a bad girl.
I think I might
You're
partake.
being a good boy. She's being a bad girl.
Yeah.
It's fulfilling her little thing that she wants to do.
Calling me a good boy is the way to my heart. You know what I mean? That's all I
I
want
would
to know.
be so not into that.
Mm.
I would immediately flip it on a bitch.
Yeah, what would you flip it? How would you flip it?
All right, let's try. Ready? You be
Okay.
her, I'm be me.
Okay. Oh, you're a good
Oh.
boy.
Bitch, the fuck did you say to me? Yeah, that's exactly what I would
That's
do.
all it would be.
Yeah.
Why? Because you don't want to be called a boy or a good boy?
Because I'm not. I am.
What
I mean,
about-
not that. Not
I got
that,
it called right after I came. I was in a very vulnerable.
Not that me as a married man and my sex life is anybody else's business, but I am not into being anything but dominant.
Right.
You know,
I felt
just
like I was
doesn't-
appreciated. That's
it
how
just
I
doesn't
felt.
do it for me. But if you would listen, I'm not. There's no kink shame here, bro.
Yeah.
No, kink
I
shame.
don't
And
feel
if you
you
like
are.
being a good boy,
Here's my thing.
you
I
go
wanna-
ahead and be a good boy. Good
I
boy.
know. All right, did it move? The karmatic response of her, I think, is what I'm worried about. Because I feel like she did what she had to do to not do something worse. Because there's been times where she's like, yo, come over.
No, because here's the thing. She should have just went and banged her husband or her boyfriend or whoever it was.
Yeah.
That's what you do to not do worse. Look, I'm going to give you the real deal is that I was in New York on Saturday looking at all types of beautiful women walking around.
Right.
And I came home to my wife and I handled my scandal.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do when you're married.
Agreed.
You're
But-
allowed to look
but you're
and
in
then
a-
you come home.
You're in a really good relationship. You love your woman. You know what I mean? And
This is true.
her situation is very different. She doesn't. He's went around her a few different times when she's found out about it, and she's trying to keep it going.
She's trying to get back at him.
Maybe a little bit, but why am I?
You're
I'll
not
be
wrong.
I'm not saying I'm wrong. I want her to be right too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I know you do.
And she's not.
She's not.
She's so wrong.
Bad girl.
No, man. She was bad, dude.
But this is GBMC.
That's it, man. And
I'm
Biz
Sean
Mighty,
Cove,
and we here.
and
that's-
you are,
I'm the Jizzler.
if nothing else, you're a good